Gosh, tonight's not my night, guys. Tonight's not my night. I've screwed up twice now already. I didn't hit the mute button when I started live. And before that, prior to the member chat, my face is red. My wife comes tearing in here on two wheels. Baron, you have set your chat to the wrong setting. I was like, what do you mean? I said I always set my chat to subscribers only. It helps keep the bogues away, keeps the dust from blowing in and choking us to death. And she says, yes. But you've set it to members only. And I was like, oh. Well, let me correct that right away. Guys, welcome back. Welcome in a beautiful Thursday, the 15th of January. And we have we got a ton going on. I mean, an absolute ton going on. I just realized something. I'd misdated something today. Something happened yesterday. I uploaded it and I put January 15th on it. Guys, this is Here Comes the Sun Yellow. I'm a Beatles fan. I can't help it. Here Comes the Sun Yellow. The Here Comes the Sun Yellow hoodie. You know, it's a beautiful hoodie. You guys wanted yellow. I ordered yellow. I will warn you, I'm running out of color options. There's only so many left on the wheel. All right, I got to give you a heads up on tonight's program. We have a lot of really good information. We're going to go through a timeline that I think is going to be very illuminating. I'm going to throw back and begin the discussion. I think you guys are ready. Yeah, this is Befuddled by Daffodils Yellow. That's what I should have called it. Befuddled by Daffodils Yellow. Somebody put that in, or put me on that in the comments. So Befuddled by Daffodils Yellow. And then I want to play a video, and I want to react to the video. It's only a couple minutes long. It's not going to be like an hour-long presentation tonight on the video. And I am going to play it. Like, I am not going to be doing this tonight while you guys are watching me watch a video, highly entertaining myself. No, I'm going to play the video. In fact, I have committed to only watching videos on this screen from now on. So I will no longer make the mistakes I've made. This is a high IQ outfit. This is a high quality program. You guys deserve the best. No more mistakes. I've made 2 mistakes already, and the show is only 4 minutes in. I set the chat to members only. Huge mistake. And I set I had the mic muted when I came in. So when I go over this timeline, it's going to be incredibly illuminating. It's going to really set the tone for what I think is basically an unassailable conclusion at this point. It's an unassailable conclusion. So we'll talk about the timeline. We also are going to react to the video of about where Lance Twiggs is and answer the question that they have, which is, do they have the right guy? So I want to address both parts of that, because I have some real concerns with the video when it came across my desk today. And I have some other cleanup stuff, some small issues that have been popped up in the background for several days, and I just got to get them out. I got to get them out. Like, for example, I'll give you one now. Last week, I think it was, we questioned whether Brian Harpole had flights to any of the events on the Charlie Kirk tour after Utah Valley University. I challenged him. If you have such flights, I would love to review the records. You've already set the precedent that you are willing to provide the records of flights because you've provided the records of flight when challenged once. So can you do it again? Do you have a single flight that was booked prior to Charlie Kirk's departure from this mortal plane? Do you have any flights whatsoever? That, I think, is a legitimate question, because it was raised from insiders that you do not. Insiders told us you don't have any such flights. Insiders at multiple places told us you don't have any such flights. And I think it's a legitimate query. All right, so before I want to get into that, I've been telling you guys that I'm using the opening statements to progress us down the road to where I'm trying to get everybody to come. This is a high IQ outfit. This is not elementary school talk radio, or what, it's not even talk radio. Yes, we're doing an opening statement. Stand by. That's what I'm setting up right now, is the opening statement. It's dense. It's a dense opening statement. That's what I'm setting up right now. This is a dense opening statement. There, I'll turn the radio up. I'll turn the sound up a little bit if anybody was having trouble there. All right. I'm bringing you along in the opening statement so that you have a better understanding of my worldview. I am not trying to convince you my worldview is correct. I think it's a compelling case that I carry a very comprehensively constructed, philosophically consistent worldview. However, I will tell you that in order to get where I'm going, you're going to have to sit through a couple of cap and gown lessons. We did one earlier this week where we did a lot of cap and gown on the history of intelligence communities as they relate to certain technologies we have. We did a little cap and gown last time, and I'm having to accelerate the cap and gown because things are moving faster in the world than I anticipated they would when I kind of charted out where I was going. Tonight, we're going to get even more cap and gown. We're going to talk about the political construct in the world that allows peace to reign supreme. You guys have no idea, particularly in the Western world, in America and Europe, no idea how peaceful it truly has been over the last 50 to 75 years. Really peaceful. And you think, well, we had some wars. Hey, wait, hear me out. Hear me out. So I'm going to do the opening statement tonight, and you got to understand it's a little dense, and then we'll have a lot of fun when it's over. We'll do all the fun stuff we always do. We'll laugh, we'll cry, but you gotta bear with me, because if I can't structure these opening statements in a way that you begin to understand my worldview and why I think this way, then the show takes on less meaning to you. Then it's just entertainment, and it's no longer informative. So, all right. And it's not mustard. No, this is not mustard. This is befuddled by daffodil yellow. That's what I've settled on. I was going to call it Here Comes the Sun yellow, but hold on. The wires inside me are messing with me. There we go. All right, you guys ready? Opening statement time. Here we go. The 30 Years' War, fought in the 17th century in Europe, lasted from 1618 to 1648. It was one of the most devastating conflicts in European history. It claimed an estimated 8 million lives through battle, famine, disease, widespread destruction. It began as a religious dispute within the Holy Roman Empire. It evolved into a broader struggle for power among the major European states. The roots of the 30-Year War were lingering tensions from the Protestant Reformation. The war kicked off in 1618 when the Catholic Habsburg Emperor, the King of Bohemia, attempted to impose strict Catholicism on his Protestant subjects. It didn't go well. The Bohemian nobles rebelled, going so far as to famously throw his representatives in Prague out of a window. They then promptly elected a Protestant as their king. And this kicked off the 30 Years' War. It started as a strictly Bohemian conflict. It soon spread to Denmark, then Sweden, then France. By the 1640s, the decades of war had exhausted all sides. Germany was in ruins. Populations in some areas had dropped as high as 50%. No faction could achieve total victory. The prolonged fighting just drained resources on nearly all sides. Lessons were being learned in real time and at a real cost of the futility of religious uniformity, and exposed the dangers of unchecked imperial or dynastic ambition. The war was grinding to a horrific and bloody stalemate. The stalemate forced negotiations starting in 1644 in the Westphalian cities of Münster and Unserbruck. After years of diplomacy involving over 100 separate delegations to the area, the Peace of Westphalia was signed October 24th, 1648. It comprised multiple treaties, and it ended the 30-Year War. It granted greater autonomy to German princes. It recognized Calvinism. It confirmed territorial gains and acknowledged Dutch independence from Spain. The two main treaties that make up the Peace of Westphalia are often referred to collectively as the Treaty of Westphalia. 1648 agreement stands perhaps as the single most pivotal moment in all of European history. It not only marked the end of the devastating 30-Year War, it laid the groundwork for the modern international system we know today. It not only resolved immediate conflict, it also introduced concepts of territorial sovereignty, state equality. These things would define global politics for centuries and still define the basis of what we know as international law. The treaty often is correctly credited with birthing the modern nation state we know today. It shifted power from feudal overlords and religious authorities to centralized, autonomous governing officials. This transformation had profound effects on tribalism. It redrew geographic boundaries in Europe. It indirectly influenced the Middle East through colonial legacies, with the principles of Westphalia being used to shape national boundaries during the tumultuous 19th and 20th centuries. We take for granted today in the 21st century that countries have the right to enforce their boundaries with criminal laws. We have thick, clear borders on maps and globes. However, prior to Westphalia, Europe operated under a feudal system. Loyalties were personal or religious rather than national. They often overlapped across vague borders. The treaty formalized the idea of Westphalian sovereignty, states as equal independent actors with exclusive control over their territories and international affairs. Non-interference became a norm, reducing the influence not only of popes and emperors, but neighboring countries as well. Westphalia extended these principles across Europe, fostering a balance of power system that prevented any single entity from dominating the continent. The shift facilitated the rise of centralized bureaucracies, standing armies, national identities, and it set the stage for modern centralized governance. As European powers expanded globally, they exported this model to new continents and influencing colonial and post-colonial structures worldwide. Westphalia's emphasis on sovereign states profoundly eroded tribalism. In medieval Europe, for example, tribal affiliations often superseded state authority. Nomadic groups or ethnic clans held sway in border regions. The treaty's recognition of fixed territories and centralized rule marginalized these structures. The transition was not abrupt, but it massively accelerated the decline of tribalism. Sovereignty demanded loyalty to the state over the tribe. It promoted assimilation through laws, taxes, and military service. In regions like the Balkans or Eastern Europe, the Balkans, where we're huge, by the way, or Eastern Europe, where tribal societies persisted, Westphalian principles clashed with ethnic divisions, leading to conflicts. Globally, as the model spread, it disrupted indigenous tribal systems during colonialization. In Africa and the Americas, European imposed borders ignored tribal boundaries, fostering instability. Westphalia thus represented a move from fluid kinship-based orders to rigid state-centric orders, reduced tribal autonomy, and enabled large-scale governance. Boundaries were now based on diplomatic negotiation, not just conquest. It set the precedent for future treaties. And this fostered a multipolar Europe where states balanced power through alliances. It ended the empire's universalist claims. It promoted a system of coexisting with other sovereignties. But it also created huge vulnerabilities. Weak states became pawns in larger games. Borders often ignored ethnic and cultural lines, and it planted the seeds for the rise of ethnic nationalism in the 19th and 20th centuries. During the 20th century, of course, Westphalia was tested. We had 2 world wars. We had decolonization. World War I redrew Europe's map. It created new states like Poland and Czechoslovakia. It violated sovereignty with minority protections and demilitarization. After World War II, more annexations changed more borders. The UN Charter, for example, reaffirmed Westphalian sovereignty, but then decolonialization created over 100 new states, often with inherited colonial boundaries. So while Westphalia was technically a European affair, its principles indirectly shaped the rest of the world, including the Middle East. The Ottoman Empire, for example, maintained a non-Westphalian order based on religious communities and fluid frontiers. European powers viewed this as uncivilized, and it justified their interventions. Post-Westphalia, as Europe colonized, it imposed sovereign state models. In the Middle East, this culminated in the post-World War I era agreements in 1916 and 1920 that carved up Ottoman territories into artificial states like Iraq, Syria, and Jordan. It ignored tribal, ethnic, and sectarian divisions. These borders, drawn with straight lines across deserts, reflected Westphalian territory, but they had a terrible effect on tribalism, and they had a devastating effect on the region that persists to this day. For example, Kurdish, Arab, and Bedouin tribes found themselves split across nations. It fueled conflicts in artificially drawn states like Iraq and Syria. And the legacy here is ironic. It promoted sovereignty, but it created mismatched states. The mismatch between imposed borders and tribal realities has driven this instability. And it persists well over 100 years later. Think of the Arab Spring. Think of ISIS. And yet Middle Eastern states have adopted Westphalian norms, some norms more than others, including joining the UN, asserting sovereignty, even as these tribal loyalties persist. So the lasting lesson of Westphalia is, whether you like it or not, it's the international standard. There are hard and fast rules as applied equally across international borders, or at least they're supposed to be. And this is where my philosophical consistency really comes into play. Because when these rules are broken, when order breaks down, the rules must be restored. It's the only system we know. And when the rules aren't enforced at all or only enforced against selected states, the order could dissolve entirely. And this has happened a few times in the past. We like to talk in terms of World War I and World War II, but that's not entirely accurate. World War II was probably really World War IV, because from 1775 to 1798, there were wars all over the world. America, Russia, modern day Turkey, Sweden, France, Poland, Ireland. Nearly all of them were wars of independence, or at least attempts to draw new boundaries. That probably should be considered the First World War. And if not that, then what happened in the first part of the 19th century certainly should be. Dozens of countries on North American continent, Europe, Asia, Africa, they engaged in a long, arduous, simultaneous period of conflict that lasted more than a decade. We largely think of this only as the Napoleonic Wars, but much of the world was skirmishing at the same time. That probably was World War II. And each of these periods was caused by a breakdown of this Westphalian order that has mostly kept peace, or at least has drawn bright lines of who's right and wrong when the peace fails. And it's this deeply rooted principle that I fear has begun to break in the last few decades, particularly in the Middle East, and it's terrifying. The breakdown appears to me to be escalating at a very rapid pace. Virtually everything that's happened in the Middle East since 1990 is in total opposition to the Westphalian order that has formed the world's collective understanding of how borders work, of how governments work relative to their own populations, how states are supposed to interact with one another. And if the Westphalian order collapses entirely, nobody's safe. You're not safe. I'm not safe. Nobody's safe. Because if one country gets to invade another or decapitate the leadership of another without consequence, and without the full the full support of one or more major world powers, where does that end? Why would China respect any border, for example, particularly one of a disputed border like its neighbor Taiwan? Why would India and Pakistan respect any semblance of their disputed border region in Kashmir? Why would Russia pull back in Ukraine and establish new boundaries if boundaries don't have any real effect on international order? And why would anyone in the Middle East feel safe if what appears to be an imminent regime change war in Iran is allowed or encouraged? My general opposition to war, and it is a strong opposition to war that I have, it isn't born out of weakness or fear. It's born out of a genuine desire to see local groups manage their own affairs. If the local group decides they no longer like the people in power of them, then form a rebellion and overthrow them. If you can't manage to pull that off, that's your problem, not mine. We have our own problems we aren't able to manage or solve. I'm especially opposed to war when the reason for it is your neighbor wants to pick your leader because it's in your neighbor's best interest. That's been the situation in Kuwait, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, Libya. I said Libya twice, Egypt, Israel, Kuwait, among others. And that's just in the Middle East, and that's just in the last several decades. And I'll close with this. It appears on its face, at least on its face, it appears that Iran will be added to that list in the very near future. The effect on the global Westphalian order coming out of whatever happens there is unknown. But we can only hope it's minimal and that order can be restored. But I, for one, am very, very skeptical. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you understand where I'm going with all these openings. I'm trying to bring you along so that you guys have a better understanding, a fuller understanding of the way I see the world. Because I can listen to somebody all day and I can be entertained and I can be informed. But if I don't truly understand how they view the world, it's not of much help to me because I don't know why they're saying what they're saying. Is someone paying them to say it? Are they saying it because it's just the topic of the day and everybody else is talking about it? Now, granted, I've had to hustle these last couple, yesterday's and today's, up a little bit because I thought Iran might get attacked at any moment. So I've had to hustle them up. Same with Astrid Tumenez. I intended to cover her a week or two from now, and I had to hurry that one up because of it. All right, I want to get into let me start with I'm going to get into the TPUSA timeline. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I've got a lot of things I want to show you with that. But first, I want to get into the video of someone who alleges to be a family member of Lance Twiggs. If you guys do not remember Lance Twiggs is the, what do we call him? The alleged trans furry lover of Tyler Robinson. But I don't believe that anymore. I'm starting to really not believe that at all. I've seen no evidence he's a furry, except one time I saw him in a hood that had ears on it. Guess what? Like every person in America wore something like that at some point. So I'm not buying that. I'd like to see him in some kind of like moose costume. You want to be a furry? I need a rack, right? I need not that kind of rack. I need a moose rack. I need an elephant trunk as you wander around. If you're going to tell me you're a furry, I want to see the whole costume. I don't just want to see you wearing a hood with a couple of dog ears on it. So I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. If he was actually a furry, there'd be pictures of him all over the place looking like a furry. I'm also not buying that he's a lover of Tyler Robinson. I'm just not. I see no evidence of it. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe I can be convinced later. But in the meantime, watch what's going to happen here. I'm going to share this video, and I'm not going to unshare it until we're done talking about it. I will not unshare this video until we are done talking about this video. You're not going to catch me, ladies and gentlemen, talking to myself or listening over here while you watch the side of my head mute. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. And if you wonder why yesterday's thumbnail on the video is me looking this way, that was my wife's idea. She said, you got to punish yourself. You got to do that because that's what people saw you doing last night. So that's why the thumbnail is me looking nowhere near the camera. I'm just kind of staring off into the distance. That's me watching the TV while you guys watch the side of my head. My wife is hilarious, by the way. All right, again, this purports to be. Now, a couple of things. One, I can't find the full video. So if somebody has the full video, please, by all means, send it to me. I can't find it. Number two, I can't find who this is. I can't find how she's related to these people. Is she? Now, we'll point out in a minute. I don't know how close she really can possibly be. But if anybody has the full video, I looked all over News Nation. I looked all over Twitter. I saw only this clip. Only this clip. Yeah, this is a creepy freeze frame because it's kind of fading in from. Is that Charlie Kirk? It's fading in from somebody, and it's this woman is still here. But let me get started on this, you guys. I might stop this a few times. I'm not just going to play it all the way through because there's several things she says, and I'm like, whoa, it took me back. Hold on just a second.
I mean, both of them are super smart. I mean, Lance was, I do know that. And I remember, you know, he was a, I don't know, concert pianist. Like his talent for piano music was off the charts, like not normal. It was very impressive. And that's kind of what I've heard about Tyler, is that he was just so smart and it's just a shame that these kids that had so much potential and such a bright future.
What do you think changed?
Okay, a couple things. One is, okay, he played the piano. What does that have to do What does that have to do with the alleged murder? I mean, you guys gave us a 2-minute and 39-second clip, News Nation. You spent 36 seconds of it telling me the furry played the piano. Like in terms of return on investment, like I invested 40 seconds of my life, and I just invested 40 seconds of all your lives. And the only thing I learned is he played piano. Okay, great. A lot of people play piano. The second thing I learned is this guy showed up to the interview in his pajamas. I could not believe it when they went to him. I thought, why is he sitting like that? Why is he wearing that? You guys couldn't get a closer cut of this guy? I mean, just imagine for a second that the cut was like where his lapel mic is. And it was just, but I mean, they have him sitting in front of the phone that hung on my mom's kitchen wall in 1983. And the thermometer said at 72. Were you guys in a huge hurry? Was this a huge hurry? You guys couldn't stop and grab a shirt that fit? You couldn't throw on an undershirt under that bad boy? It's almost like he just woke up. So I don't want to get too carried away on this guy, but I almost fell out of my chair today. When they cut to this guy, I thought, well, why is he sitting in front of that phone? Why is he wearing that shirt? All right, so let me get back to it.
I don't, and then being as antisocial as they were, from my understanding of, playing these games and being a part of this Discord group.
She's just spouting off talking points. There were like 3 talking points right there. And that's when I thought, I don't believe this woman. I don't even think she's related to him. And if she is, I don't think she's like a cousin. I don't think she's the mother, for example, of Lance Twiggs. Oh, they're so antisocial, talking point 1. All they did was sit around and play games, talking point 2. In this Discord group, talking point 3. You don't even know what a Discord group is, lady. You can't. You didn't use it properly. Like, listen to it again. Listen again to her response to this.
And then being as antisocial as they were, from my understanding of, playing these games and being a part of this Discord.
Playing these games and being part of this Discord. Do you even know who they are? Have you met either of these people? Is that why you're hiding behind the shadow? Because if you truly are related to these people and you're close to them at all, that shadow is not protecting your identity. Everyone who knows them will know who you are. So I don't believe this at all. I don't like anonymous sources. I don't. I understand why sometimes they're necessary. I genuinely understand why sometimes they're necessary, particularly if you think your life would be in jeopardy. Like if you're speaking out on a mob boss, whatever. But if you're going to come in here and say, my understanding is they played video games and hung out on Discord, they were so antisocial. What? And this isn't even the best part. We're just getting started.
Group, it just, they didn't seem like they were in a real world.
There's text messages between Tyler and Lance where they're texting after the event. A lot of people find them unusual.
The world that they were in, like this gaming world, like that was a normal way that they kind of spoke. That,
ladies and gentlemen, the normal way the gaming world they were in, that's the way they spoke. Are you telling me these guys are playing Grand Theft Auto or whatever game they're playing and they're my loving it up and down the video game? Nice shot, my love. That's the way they spoke. Oh, I see you've left the vehicle in Grand Theft Auto. I see you've left the vehicle. I'll have to retrieve my weapon from the vehicle, my love. What does that have to do? Nobody speaks that way. And you can't come with this and expect me to believe this is evidence. You know what? I'll get to my conclusion when we're done with this. I don't want to tell you my conclusion of why this exists and why this is happening right now. But I have a very strong opinion about why this interview at this time. Very strong opinion.
This wasn't an abnormal, the way they spoke wasn't abnormal.
No, the way they spoke absolutely was abnormal. You can't say, oh, that's the way they spoke on the video games, and then say, oh, no, but it's not abnormal. No, it's one or the other. It's one or the other. You either speak that way or you don't. If you do speak that way, you are highly unusual. Do I need to pull them up and read from them? My wife walked in the other day, and I listened to weird stuff. Like, I'm fascinated by languages. And I'm listening to two fluent speakers of Old English, and they're going back and forth. I have no idea what they're saying. No idea whatsoever what they're saying. You can barely understand the accent. You can barely understand anything that's going on. And they're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And she walks in and she's like getting ready. I don't know. It may have been towards bed. She's getting ready for bed. She putting stuff on the nightstand, all that. And she looks over and she goes, what are you listening to? And with a very straight face, I was like, oh, I'm listening to two Old English speakers talking in Old English back and forth. They understand each other. Well, do you understand any of them? No. Then why are you listening to it at all? And I was like, I'm fascinated by it. I'm fascinated by it because it's not normal. Nobody's fascinated by the normal. The way they spoke isn't normal. And it doesn't sound like she even knew that they played video games. It's like, well, I heard they played video games, and I guess that's how they talk on video games.
There have been a lot of questions about where Lance is now, whether he's in the FBI protection program. It's been a big mystery. He kind of has disappeared.
Yeah, my understanding was for...
Wait. Your understanding? Are you family or not, lady? What is this my understanding business?
He kind of has disappeared.
Yeah, my understanding was for the first few weeks, because there were so many threats against his family that and him that they had. My understanding is they did have a little bit of FBI detail, and they kind of moved around a little bit, but they're not anymore. He's with his family.
Did anybody find that highly unusual? Does anybody find it unusual that Lance Twiggs had an FBI detail? How many witnesses in murder cases have FBI details? Particularly witnesses who sat around the living room while the alleged gunman is engraving bullets. You remember this in the text messages? Oh, my love, you remember when I was engraving all those bullets? What? Yes, my love. I was sitting around engraving bullets. We were supposed to be playing Magic the Gathering, and I was engraving bullets. That, guys, if you're in a house with someone who's engraving bullets and those bullets go on to be used in a crime, you're in on it. I don't care. I don't care what you say. It's not normal. If you see anybody engraving a bullet, run for the hills, get out of the house, call the police, call the FBI. Hey, I live with a guy. He's engraving bullets. Someone's going to die. Someone's in grave danger. That doesn't entitle you to an FBI detail unless we go back and think about who were those cars that allegedly were at the house of Lance Twiggs and Tyler Robinson in the days leading up to the events at Utah Valley University on September 10th. You remember the neighbors talked about the cars? There were cars without a state tags. There were cars with dark tinted windows. Who were in those cars? Who were those people? It's a question we should know the answer to by now. But we don't. Instead, we have this gal with her shaded out face who thinks, well, where is Lance Twiggs? Well, it's my understanding he had an FBI detail for several weeks, but now I think it's my understanding he might be with his family somewhere. Well, lady, what are you doing on TV? What are you doing in this random hotel room with a wall phone? If you're in a building with a wall phone, get out. That's scary. Yeah, something's gone terribly awry.
Will he still cooperate with the investigation from what you know?
I don't know. When I first found out about how he was taken in and talked to by the police, I know that they said that he was very cooperative, but they had to go get him and bring him in. He didn't.
They're asking if he was cooperative. Did you hear his question? I might have cut it off a little too early. Let me back up just to hear.
He's with his family.
Will he still cooperate with the investigation from what you know?
I don't know.
Then why are you here? Why are you in the room? You don't know if he's cooperating with the FBI. You don't know if he's with his family. It's your understanding he had an FBI detail. It's your understanding he's with his family somewhere. Who are you? Why is this on television? I have an opinion on why it's on television. But I am very, very concerned about my opinion. I'm very concerned about what it might mean.
When I first found out about how he was taken in and talked to by the police, I know that they said that he was very cooperative, but they had to go get him and bring him in. He didn't voluntarily go in and say, "Hey, I heard about this and I have some knowledge." He had to go in. Then he handed things over when they asked for him, but he didn't give up any information until he had to.
So why did he get an FBI detail? If this is true, and I don't know if this is true because I don't know who this woman is, but if this is true and he didn't go to the FBI and say, "Hey, I'm aware of who killed Charlie Kirk. I know who pulled the trigger. It was my good friend, Tyler. I have knowledge of it. I have specific knowledge of it. He confessed to me. Here is the text. Here's what he said." No. Instead, he destroyed evidence at the request of an alleged killer. Remember the note under the keyboard that they had to recreate because he allegedly destroyed it? At that point, you are an enemy. You are a criminal. You are an accessory after the fact. You're deleting evidence. You're destroying evidence. You are destroying evidence. If there's a confession and it's written down and you tear it up or burn it or throw it away or whatever, flush it down the toilet, whatever you did with it, you are a criminal. Why do you get an FBI detail? Why aren't you charged with a crime? It doesn't make sense to me. And I'm not saying any of this happened because I don't know that I believe any of this. But I look at this and I think, well, wait a minute. Assuming she is family and assuming what she's saying is true, why did he get an FBI detail? Why is he in some sort of, I think that's kind of like not protective custody, meaning you're in custody, but that's protective. The government of the United States is protecting someone who helped cover up the murder of Charlie Kirk. Do you see the problem that I have with this story, if it's true? It's a massive problem, and it's the first time I've heard that. Let me finish it off here, and then I'll give you my opinion on why this is coming out.
There are so many theories out there, and I'm sure you've seen them. People think other people are involved or another government was involved. I mean, you're kind of in the middle of this. How confident are you that police have the right guy?
Is she kind of in the middle? She doesn't sound like she knows much. So why are you asking her the ultimate legal conclusion? Why are you asking her what the jury is going to have to decide? She doesn't even, she says it's her understanding he had an FBI detail. It's her understanding he's now with his family. As far as I know, he played piano. He was pretty smart. As far as I know, he doesn't sound like she knows a whole lot. So why are you asking her to examine all of the evidence the FBI has, to examine all the evidence the Utah police have, and come to a legal conclusion? We haven't even had an evidentiary hearing. But listen, she gives it.
Tyler Robinson.
100%. They have the right guy. Both.
100% they have the right guy. And then it abruptly cuts off. 100% they have the right guy. Here's my belief of why they are playing this. Because News Nation is, let's be honest, that's not independent journalism. This is not, News Nation is not out there like scouring for independent media. Like they're just transcribing what the FBI and the CIA and everybody tells them. This is state media. This tells me they believe they're losing. They're watching the polls that we put up. They're watching the podcasts that Candace and others are doing, that we're doing here. And they realize they do not have any control over this narrative whatsoever. They've lost it. I do believe this was a sloppy event. Probably was planned quite well. It was supposed to look like a chest shot. The neck was not supposed to be involved. He was supposed to be carried off immediately, and then the doctor was going to, it was going to be real quick, boop, 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 nice and easy. And so you have a real problem that's developed. Because here it is 4 months and 5 days after the fact. 4 months and 5 days after the fact. And we're still talking about it. And not only that, we're still breaking news. We're still covering new things. We're still finding new details in pictures. We're still finding new details in the videos. I think it was Sam Parker had just the other day where he saw Brian Harpole come up and it appeared either pull something out or turn something on the radio of Dan Flood. It looked like it to me. I think he's correct. My opinion. So all this time goes by. We were not supposed to find the signal from Dan Flood. We weren't supposed to notice Rick Cutler pulling on his sleeve. We weren't supposed to slow down the video so much that we noticed the shirt came up before the wound appeared in the neck. We weren't supposed to notice there was fragmented plastic and tempered glass all over the car and all over the ground. We weren't supposed to slow down this 60 frame per second video and watch the fragmented glass fall out of his shirt. We weren't supposed to see the fragmented glass and plastic on his hand from the camera behind that Terrell Farnsworth showed Candace Owens. We weren't supposed to see any of this. We weren't supposed to get experts like Heavy Duty Country and Valhalla, Chris Martenson firing rounds, looking at angles, studying human biology, none of this was supposed to happen. None of this was supposed to happen. This was supposed to be like Vegas. It was supposed to be a couple of 3 days in the news, and everybody was supposed to go, oh, a guy became rich being a professional gambler? Oh, a video poker player, and he became a millionaire? Oh, and he just happened to drag 40 guns up to a room and start shooting random concert goers? Well, that's unfortunate. All right, what's next? That's what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to just move on. They never counted on you guys. They never counted on Candace Owens. They never counted on you guys tuning in night after night to hear more about it. They never counted on you remember the psychological warfare during the COVID-19 and all that? You remember the psychological warfare a lot of us withstood? Billions of dollars worth of propaganda telling you you had to. You remember all that? It was just so much propaganda. They never counted on the fact that there would be a sizable percentage of the world and the country who would just say, no, we're not buying that. We're not doing that. We don't believe you. And then just to withstand it day after day, shame, being yelled at in public, being pointed at, being cussed at because you end up in Costco and your mask is below your nose. They didn't count on that. They didn't count on me walking the wrong way through the Walmart when the arrow said I had to walk that way down aisle 24 and I was walking this way down aisle 24. And some gal with a manager haircut, pointing at me and yelling at me as I walk by her because I might breathe near her. They never counted on that. And they never counted on the fact that tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people would tune in and then take what they learn from a show like this or a show like Candace or a show like Ian or a show like Valhalla or anybody else. They never imagined people would go back and open up Google and say, well, what can I find? Let me scour X and see what clues are out there that I might be able to find. They never counted on you. You guys were supposed to have moved on a long time ago. You weren't supposed to be here. I wasn't supposed to be here. No one even knew my name back then. Well, my wife did. My kids, my mom. I mean, a few people had heard of me, but none of you. Almost none of you. You guys weren't supposed to be interested in the Charlie Kirk case 4 months and 5 days later, 125 days after it happened. You weren't supposed to be here. And they're counting on you to go away. And they've lost control of the narrative, so now they're having to trot out a gal in a bad wig and a shadow, probably a voice changer, sitting in a hotel conference room with a wall phone, like she's running from agents, right? And she's got to get sucked out of there. Throwback to you movie fans. All right, let me do this. I want to pull up a timeline because I one of our very astute viewers, Daisy, she emailed and she sent a timeline and had a couple of. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Here we go. Had a couple of well, I'll put it on that screen. Whatever. You have to see even more of the side of my head. Had a couple of attachments with it, and I thought, you know what? This is good stuff. This is really good stuff. This really outlines it very nicely. So I'm going to put the timeline up, and then after we do the timeline, after we look at the timeline, where is it? There it is. After we look at the timeline, I want to go through and show you a couple of things that go along with this timeline. So I want to back up. This is July 8th. July 8th of this last year, 2025. This is July 8th. The famed meeting in the Hamptons that would take place August 4th and 5th. It is already planned. Charlie Kirk allegedly at this point has invited Seth Dillon to be there. This is going to be less than a month later. And so everything's going pretty well. Obviously, there's something happening and they need to talk to him. But I'm not sure he understands the gravity of it yet. He's still rocking and rolling. And then a few days after that, after he invites Seth Dillon and he finds out about the Hamptons event, a couple of days later, he goes to his TPUSA student summit in Florida, and Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Dave Smith appear, and all hell breaks loose. This is when the pressure really begins to amp up. At this point, the pressure really begins to amp up. Oh, let me, I got to put this on a different screen. You know why? Oh, no, I don't. I got my stuff down here. I think. Hold, please. Let me see if I can. Where did it go? Ah, there it is. All right. A couple of days later, after the Tucker, Megyn Kelly deal, you get this that pops up. The launch of Club America. This is July 22nd. You'll notice the date here, July 22nd. This is Dateline Phoenix. Turning Point USA proud to announce the official launch of Club America. This is the high school chapter-based program. You know, they were very successful with the college program. They realized they needed to go even younger to begin the indoctrination process. So they go into the high schools to mobilize students ready to lead, speak up, and stand for the tried and true values of freedom. So this is, and it gives you a little bio of Charlie Kirk, but this gives you an idea of what's going on here. Also, I didn't put on this timeline. I'm gonna fill out this timeline a little bit. all I didn't put on here was 4 days before then, I think, was the TPUSA request at Utah Valley University. So that would have been July 18th. July 18th. Now I'm going to show you something really weird. Show you something very, very, very weird. Provided I can find it. Gosh, I'm having a time tonight. Here it is. Go to the Wayback Machine. Do you guys know how the Wayback Machine works? If you go to the Wayback Machine, you can just Google Wayback Machine and find it. If you go to the Wayback Machine, you can type in just about any email, any website here, and it will give you this snapshot of when this website was live. So I throw in here, this is part of the timeline, israel.tpusa.com. And it's an important part of the timeline because when it comes down. Israel.tpusa.com. I didn't even know there was such a website. But if you go to it, and we'll go to it in just a second, but you'll see here, we're in 2025. The last time this website exists is July 22nd. Now, this was 10 days after the last time we got a snapshot. This was 10 days after the Student Action Summit in Tampa. That was right here, 11, 12, 13, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right here. 10 days later, we get a snapshot, and I'll show you what that website looks like in a second. By the time we get a second snapshot on October 2nd, the reason it's yellow like that, the website is gone. The website's gone. So what does the website look like, you ask? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to love this. What does the website look like? Oh, my friends. This, believe it or not, was on the TPUSA website. It says up here, TPUSA stands with Israel. This is from May of 2024. Thank you for contacting Turning Point USA. This must have been something they were sending out in response to inquiries they were getting. Below, we provide a list of articles and videos so that you can fully understand Charlie's and Turning Point USA's unapologetic support of Israel and the Jewish people. Charlie is one of the most vocal supporters of Israel in the country. Well, that's a bold claim. I hope these videos and links help clear up any questions you may have. As a reminder, Charlie is not Candace, and Candace is not a TPUSA employee. Well, that's interesting. She was on your staff website as far like a month ago. A year and a half after this was taken, she was still on your staff website. If you have specific questions about Candace's comments or views, we suggest you contact her directly. However, these videos and links should provide clarity on Charlie's positions and views. Charlie has been to Israel twice, and Israel and the Jewish people hold a special place in his heart. Additionally, it's worth noting that TPUSA as an organization supports Israel in a number of ways, but not limited to hosting an annual Young Jewish Leadership Summit, sending 100 plus students to Israel for educational trips, sending an Israel-specific activism kit to hundreds of high school and college campuses each semester, welcoming Dennis Prager and other Jewish thought leaders to our national events, and hosting pro-Israel social media trainings for TPUSA ambassadors and online influencers. And then he has headlines. You click on these. Charlie Kirk says TPUSA staffers beaten by Hamas supporters. Charlie Kirk, school student who supports Hamas. And then there's a video. The Eye of the Storm, a TPUSA original documentary. You know who's going to be watching this tomorrow? Yeah, this is on my calendar for 8 o'clock a.m. You guys ever set those up so that when you get a calendar invite, when you get a calendar notice, the website automatically comes up? Oh, yes. I will be watching this TPUSA original documentary, The Eye of the Storm. I've not seen it. No, I don't think that's Erica. Somebody asked. Another Palestine lie. Charlie Kirk debate, BLM, Islam, Israel. Why I love Israel. Charlie Kirk tears into anti-Israel student. This is Turning Point USA in Washington, D.C., the first ever. I mean, guys, it's just on and on. First conversation with Morton Klein. And if you notice, if you click on the next button here, each step of the way, you end up with consistency. This is up all the way until we get our last view of it on July 22nd. I think it's a little weird. I'll be honest with you. I think it's a little weird. You click on it now, it doesn't exist. You don't believe me? Try me. Here, I'll show you. Israel.tpusa.com. This is what you get if you do it now. You get Squarespace. This account has expired. If you're the site owner, click below to log in. But it doesn't show up anymore. It did, but it doesn't anymore. Put that into context. This goes on the timeline, ladies and gentlemen. This is part of the story of why this period of time is so important. Why the Hamptons meeting mattered so much. So let me go back, now that we've looked at that. Let me go back to the timeline. I might just play the timeline like this because I don't want to have to manage two screens here. This is just a lot easier. So here's your timeline. You've got the Hamptons meeting we talked about. Then you have Tucker and them. Then you have the official launch of the high school program. And then you have the famed Hamptons meeting. And I have here, this is a text message that's been released. This was the July 8th. August 4-5, can you join us for an influencer retreat in the Hamptons? Yes, I'm available. Any details you can share, let me know. And then you have this Save the West. Invitation only. Save the West. Leadership retreat, August 4 and 5. I can be there. Need I say, I don't even know if I have to say this. I think this goes without saying. Anytime you believe your position is saving the West and you're doing it from the Hamptons, I think you're a little presumptuous. I think you're a little presumptuous. Back we go. Back we go to the Hamptons. Now, we know what happened at the Hamptons retreat, right? You guys remember what happened? You remember they asked him at this Hamptons retreat right here? Oh, excuse me, I'm moving all the text. You remember what happened at this Hamptons retreat? He was asked about future plans in case he died. Remember the very normal question we're all asked at age 31 when we walk into a retreat. So, Bill, appreciate you joining us at age 31. Nice of you to make it. Glad the private jet could make it here. By the way, I haven't had a chance to ask you. Let's say you die in the near future. What you going to do with that business you got there? Huh? What? Why would you ask such a thing? Oh, nothing, Bill. Don't worry about it. Just asking. Same question I ask everybody. Huh? You walk around asking, yeah, oh, yeah. Just asked Charlie Kirk a minute ago. What's up, Chuck? Then you get this. How do we think Charlie Kirk felt coming out of the Hamptons meeting? Well, we have evidence. We actually have him on video the very next day. The very next day, we have him on video. So we get the Hamptons meeting. Hey, Charlie, what happens when you die? Well, let's see how that affected young Charlie. Because we have the evidence. Provided I can find it. Oh, where did it go? There it is. We have the evidence, ladies and gentlemen. It is Charlie Kirk and Megyn Kelly. Right cheer. I'm playing it at 1 1/4 speed, so if they sound a little fast, it's because they're both talking slowly because they're professionals and I ramble.
So I genuinely believe you'd be hard pressed to find somebody in the public eye who's been as outspoken a defender of not every move Israel's taken in the war, but of Israel's right to defend itself and of the just backward awfulness that we've been seeing on college campuses and the backlash against American Jews, then yours truly. I mean, I have been at the pointy end of the spear on this, and
I completely agree with that.
And it was all heartfelt, and it remains heartfelt.
Yes.
However, my contention here is that some in the pro-Israel camp are so knee-jerk about calling you anti-Semitic or getting deeply offended if you say anything that doesn't align with their narrative, that it undermines their own cause. And I have to tell you, I find it very irritating because I do feel like some of us have earned the right to have some credibility on the subject of Israel and don't want to be called those names when we have some mild pushback on some of the overreaches, whether it's, whether they're winning or losing the propaganda war right now. And my contention is they've begun to lose it. And I realize it's propaganda coming at us from Hamas, but their numbers have turned here in America. They've turned, not so much with Republicans, a little bit with Republicans, but completely with the Democrat Party and with independents. They have shifted mightily from at least double digits highs to single digit lows now with when it comes to approval. And also with respect to, you and I speculated about this at the Turning Point event, whether the possibility of Jeffrey Epstein possibly being a Mossad agent or asset or affiliated with, that's been turned around on me too, to you must be anti-Semitic. What the hell? That's such bullshit. The same people who say you can criticize Israel, that's fine. We won't call you anti-Semitic if you criticize Israel. Now, turn around immediately and say you're anti-Semitic for even raising that. I completely reject that. And I raise this as a pushback against my friends on that particular strain of the aisle to watch it, because you don't want to alienate people who are openly your friends by going nuts in your crackdowns on mild pushback on anything related to.
Did you hear him? He said nuts is the right word. What do you think of his body language? I'll tell you what I think of his body language. That looks like a man who just went through hell for the prior 2 days, August 4th and August 5th. Keep in mind, this is from August 6th. This is from August 6th. This is 2 days. This is 1 day after he leaves the Hamptons. I can see his airline flight the evening of the 5th. So I know when he left. This is 1 or 2 days after he gets the BB phone call. This is 1 or 2 days after he's asked point blank, hey, Chuck, what happens when you die? What did you think of his body language? He looks irritated. He looks frustrated. He looks defeated. He looks angry.
Israel. Now you take it.
I'm so glad you brought this up. And I would second that. Megan, I think I have a bulletproof resume showing my defense of Israel both.
Well, that was an unfortunate choice of words, Chuck.
On campus, on social media, to great, let's just say mockery and scorn at times because I believe it, right? I believe in the scriptural land rights given to Israel. I believe in fulfillment of prophecy. And again, I'm not a theologian, but I'm a Christian. My life was changed in Israel. The spiritual energy is so amazing there. I want them to win. I've said that repeatedly.
Same.
And however, Megan, you're hitting on something very potent and important. Now, let me first say, I don't want to judge an entire group because there's been many people in the pro-Israel world that have been very sweet, very kind, very nuanced, very Charlie, you're with us. You don't have to agree all the time. However, and I will say this, the behavior by a lot, both privately and publicly, are pushing people like you and me away. Not like we're going to be pro-Hamas, not like we're going to, but we're like, honestly, the way you are treating me is so repulsive. I have text messages, Megan, calling me an anti-Semite. I am learning biblical Hebrew and writing a book on the Shabbat. I honor the Shabbat, literally the Jewish Sabbath. I visit Israel and fight for it. And there's another article out in the Times of Israel today. I could read it on air. I was just reading before I got on. Charlie, what are you doing? Like, what am I doing? I'm sorry. Like, let's just take a step back here. Like, I'm an American citizen. Yes, I want Israel to win. Yes, I'm a Christian. But like some of the mess, and you've seen how I've been treated, Megan, by some, not all, by some.
No, it's very irritating.
It's
been
almost
so
as if
unfair. They were coming after you after a turning point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
Though. No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this.
What do you think he had put up with the previous 2 days? Because he keeps saying publicly and privately, I'm being criticized publicly and privately. I'm being called a bad person. I'm being called this. What do you think that Hamptons meeting was like? I could play the whole 15 minutes. I'm not going to. I don't want to take views from Megan. If you want to see it, go watch it. It was a great exchange. But I'm telling you, when you put it in the context of this timeline, it is pretty condemning. It's pretty telling. It's pretty damning. Look at it again. Look one more time at this timeline. 4th and 5th, he's in the Hamptons. He gets the BB call. He gets the question about what's going to happen if you're going to die. And then the next day, that's his reaction. Palpable, visceral anger. And then, of course, just 1 week later, we get a text message. Not a text message, excuse me. We get a tweet. If I can find it. Golly, I've got to organize this stuff better. Well, it's in there somewhere. You can read it. He gets a tweet from Harrison Smith that says essentially, oh, I know what happened to it. It was on the full screen, and I don't know where it went. Oh, well. He gets a tweet from Harrison Smith, and the Harrison Smith tweet says essentially, Charlie Kirk is afraid someone's going to die. Someone's going to kill him. Here it is. I can finally pull it up. I don't know who all these people are. You guys may recognize the handsome man in the middle here. This is the tweet. I'm not going to name names. This is Harrison Smith, InfoWars reporter. August 13th, just 1 week after that Megyn Kelly appearance where he was visibly shaken and upset. I'm not going to name names, but I was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against them. He thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against them. And I don't have to remind you of the text message he sent just 2 days before the Utah Valley University event. He turned against them. You've left me no choice but to leave the pro-Israeli cause. And then 2 days later, he's dead. And so we build a timeline. We put the timeline together. Well, Daisy put that timeline together, but it's dynamite. It's absolutely dynamite. Absolutely dynamite. So let me show you a couple more items, but one more item where I think I found, as I was researching for tonight, I think I found where one of the numbers came from that's been thrown around a lot, and everybody's denying it, but I think I might have found it. There's a headline here, Israel to spend up to $4.1 million on Christian PR campaign in Western U.S. This was that Faith by Works, LLC, and they had to register with FARA so we can tell what's going to happen. We know what they're going to spend. But there's, in addition to that 4.1 million, here's where I think that 150 million number may have come from. Because a lot of people were throwing around this number saying, oh, hey, by the way, Charlie Kirk was offered $150 million. It says here in this Times of Israel article, the PR blitz was anticipated after the foreign ministry was allocated $150 million in this year's budget for public relations efforts. I don't know if that's where it came from, but I saw that number and I thought, ooh, That's the number everybody was throwing around, 150 million. Now I have one more thing I want to cover tonight. It's not really a call for help. I mean, it is, because if you have one of these hats, I would love to have you get in touch with me. But do you remember that I got this from Base Sam Parker on his Twitter feed? Do you remember after the event, they made a big deal about somebody stealing the hats and they were very upset about it? Watch this here. Do you remember the guy stealing the hats? And he's tossing them out to people, and there were people frustrated by the fact that he was stealing the hats. If somebody has one of those hats that was sitting on the table after the Big Bang, I would like you to get in touch with me. It has to be one of those that was on the table after the Big Bang. It cannot be one that was on the table that was thrown out before the Big Bang. It has to be one of those three hats, or one of the 45 or so others that are still sitting on the table, but those are probably in TPUSA's possession and probably not available for me to get in touch with me. But those three I just saw right there, if you have one of those three hats, can you contact us? I would love to hear from you. I'm not going to get you in trouble. We're not going to call the police. We're not going to accuse you of theft. I just want, if possible, you to get in touch with me. I have something I want to do with that hat. Something I want to do with that hat. And there's only three of them. And I know it's a long shot. And I know those are kids. And I have no idea who these people are. It's a very long shot. But if you have one, let me know. Let me know. Quick update here, ladies and gentlemen. There are 17,000 of you online. And there are only 4,500 likes. Do you understand? That breaks my heart. I feel so devastated. Like you hate watching. You don't want to watch. You're being compelled. You're watching against your will. Someone's holding you hostage. Can I please post that video on X, and I'll try to find him. I'll just retweet Sam's. Yeah, I just reposted it. Sam Parker had it. And so I just reposted his. So you've got it. But yeah. No, it's not. Listen. Someone said something ugly here. I'm not begging for likes. It's just something that has to happen. You know why? Because YouTube calculates all this in determining whether or not they're going to send this show out for other people to view. And it's a way to bring that up. The youth needs to be arrested for stealing. I didn't mean to hit that, but no, I mean, come on. That's not my point. I don't want him arrested. I just want to evaluate the hats. I really want to take a look at the hat. It's of interest to me, of great interest to me. I'd like to hear your unusual take on Creation Story in the members episode. You hinted it was a doozy. Oh, it is a doozy. Yeah, we'll talk about it during a member show. Sure. I don't mind that. It might be more than one. It's going to be a long one. It's a bit of a doozy. Yeah. I find the poll a bit incomplete. I do think the relationship is more than roommates, but I doubt it was sensual. I'm going to cut that to sensual. We already let Megyn Kelly drop a BS on this program. We're not that kind of an outfit. Oh, and I heard there was a lot of foul language in the chat. I didn't see it, but guys, keep it sort of on the up and up. Could we please? Pretty please for me. Hands down, my favorite part of the show is waiting for Barron to politely rage at himself after he realizes we're just watching the side of his face. Not tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This was nearly a flawless show after I got going. Took a minute, admittedly. Took a minute, but once we got going on the Baron Coleman and the Magistrates of Truth Hour, I like how you guys named the show. I was so confident it was going to be blue tonight. New York Giants 2027 Super Bowl champions. I was rooting for the Giants the last two times they won the Super Bowl. I'm a fan of Eli Manning. liked Eli Manning in college and in the pros, and despised the Patriots. And it's not no offense to any Patriot fans. It's totally out of respect. The despising the Patriots is a complete respect thing for me. You know why? Because you guys beat the dog snot out of the Colts for all those years. So total respect. But no, I just wore a blue shirt yesterday. Didn't I wear blue yesterday? Baron blue? If I do believe that's true. So I can't wear the same hoodie twice in a row. Y'all think I'm dirty. Did I see the behavior panel guys on YouTube examine Erica Kirk's body language? No, I did not. But I would like to. A big fan. Big fan. Love you. We are head watchers. Duly noted. For Mrs. Coleman. Wow. Mrs. Coleman is the VP of this operation. We've established that around the house. Being a mama can be a thankless job at times. I couldn't imagine 8. She's obviously a rock star, granted. We also thank her for letting us borrow you. She deserves something nice. P.S. Have to make a bull butter shirt. Hey, this could be bull butter yellow. I stole that from my 9th grade physical science teacher, Coach Polly. Coach Polly used to say bull butter when he'd get angry. That's bull butter. So I took that from him. He was a good man. Thank you, Shelly. Very kind of you. If you're going to go no sound, you should do closed captioning so at least we can read what you're saying. Did I go? Oh, I just went no sound for like 4 minutes. It was really apology. Really apology. Don't beat up on our favorite host, please. Who was I beating up on? Am I your favorite host? Ma'am, am I your favorite host? I love your show, but I'd rather send money directly through you for Venmo. Through Venmo. Can I give you? Yeah, I'll give you my Venmo handle. Happy to do it. It's just my name, Baron-Coleman. Just my name. Pardon me while I take in little pieces of throat cleanser there. Yeah, so I don't know if you saw that or not. You gave that a while ago. Do I see super chats before the start of the live stream? Made you one yesterday about 60 minutes before it started. It's in regards to an email. I don't know if I think there's some time limit where they expire before the show starts. So I will have to go back and look. Now, I can always go back into the super chat archive and look. And I usually do that after the show to see the ones that if I'm moving quickly towards the end of the show in particular and I'm having to skip some, I read every super chat. So if you sent one, I saw it. I just don't know that I saw it during the program. Because I know I went back and read them last night. It took like 45 minutes. I'm trying to get to bed, but I commit to you guys I'm going to read every super chat. So I sit here and read them all. I'm all for tinfoil hat, but I feel I received an entire tinfoil outfit when all I signed up for was high QO. I've got to hear your take on Candace's Wednesday show and how it relates to Charlie. What was her Wednesday show? Was that the time travel show? Is that what you're talking about? I think Candace is a lot like me. I think she uses some of her episodes as stepping stones, and maybe not everybody knows where we're going on those stepping stones. Like, I did I think, is that the one she did on the Mandela Effect? Because I did an opening on the Mandela Effect, and you guys may not have known where I was going. And I think she's probably going the same way I'm going on it. Now, she took a little esoteric turn, but that's okay. I didn't give you that one in a vacuum. There's a reason I gave it to you. There's absolutely a reason I gave it to you. Regarding our brand, Hoodie Cats or Hood Cats. Cats, acronym for clever, articulate, tireless, sanguine. Remember here, y'all hold up and get your membership tonight. Yeah, I think I'll probably do a member tomorrow afternoon. I don't think I'll be live tomorrow night unless some massive news breaks. But I do like to sometimes have 2 nights back to back to give my voice a rest. It's hard to talk I went yesterday, I went tonight, and that would be again tomorrow. That would be 9 hours in 3 days, and really like 51 hours. It's a lot. It's very hard on my throat to talk that much. I talk so loud and so much. I do like to give myself a break every now and then. But if news breaks, I'll be here. For me, it has never been as evident now that angels and demons walk among us. Protect your heart, protect your soul. Never forget that love always triumphs. Protect your soul for sure. Press the like button right now. The show starts. Do not forget. Good show. I look forward to it all day. Well, thank you. Thank you. Lance Twiggs has to be the fakest name ever. I thought that the first time I heard it. I thought that exact same thing. And then I realized they'd been searching it in Israel. And I was like, maybe not. Go back and watch the early episodes. I think it was the first or second episode we discovered that. Rewatch. Talking about the first episode. Guys, you read minds. Rewatch the first Google Trends today. I recommend everyone rewatch it. Your heart softening, your spirit feeling drawn to Charlie was of the Lord. Saying this to encourage you to keep going. Yeah, I think I might have admitted it in that show. I was not a massive Charlie Kirk fan. I had mad respect for him. Don't get me wrong. What he did was very difficult. I mean, running an organization like that, balancing the interests of donors and supporters, showing up in front of college students, 200-300 nights a year talking, a very, very difficult job. I had mad respect for him, but I never really was wild about particularly his foreign policy. And it kind of turned me off a little bit of Charlie, but something about seeing a man taken down like that, you instantly think, well, that's not right. Like, we can't live in a country where that happens. We've got to get to the bottom of this. And I knew very early on, I did not believe the story. I mean, within 48 hours, I knew that Tyler Robinson kid wasn't pulling triggers. I just knew it. I didn't know what the answer was, but I knew it. What's your favorite Beatles album? Mine is without a doubt the White Album. I remember being told Charles Manson's idea of Helter Skelter Race War came from his interpretation of his lyrics. I don't believe that, though. You shouldn't believe that. Everything you know about Charles Manson is wrong. Everything you know about Charles Manson is wrong. I'm a Rubber Soul guy. Abbey Road. I'm not a biggest Sgt. Pepper fan, but I understand the genius in it. Yeah, here's the fascinating thing about the Beatles. We get this idea that the Beatles were around forever. From formation to breakup, 7 years. All the tours, all the albums, all the sound, all the development from early bubblegum pop Beatles to deep, trippy acid Beatles, that was all 7 years. It all took place before the 70s started, and it all took place before the oldest Beatle was even 30 years old. You put it in that context, and the Beatles take on a whole new meaning. Now, I got an interesting story about the Beatles, Joel. Maybe I'll save this for another show. I talked to the guy who found John Lennon dead. I was interviewing him on another story. This is years ago. This is 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. I was interviewing him on something else, and he just offhandedly mentioned he was the guy who found John Lennon dead. And I think there's more to it than that. As years went by and my brain got a little less normie and more skeptical, I thought there's more to it than this. There's more to it than this. Did you see my info from Billy last night? I need you to reach out about the pre-interview. I emailed you again today. Got 2 former employees lined up. Yeah, I did. I did finally get your email. It's the first time I'd gotten an email from you. Sorry, I got to plug in my phone. It's beeping at me. It's the first time I've gotten an email from you. I went back and looked. I don't know where the others were. Logical Hoodie Crew. I think I may settle on the jury and the grand jury. I really like that. Whoever came up with that, I really like it. Finally got my membership. Thank you, tiramisu. I love tiramisu, by the way. Can't eat it anymore, but I love it. Absolutely love it. God bless you, your fam, and this community. God bless all. I would enjoy your take on the spiritual, angelic, demonic realm, also electric universe. Yeah. This gets back to the question the other people were asking. What's my thought on the beginning of the world? I'm a big EU guy. I can't help it. Now, I've got a little different spin on EU than some of the other EU guys. So you might, even if you're an EU person, you might like my particular spin on it. But I will tell you, right now, if you go out in the night sky, Jupiter's out, And Saturn's out. Now, you EU people, you know what that means. Jupiter is in the eastern sky right now, and Saturn's in the western sky. For those of you in the United States. Now, if you're over there in another part of the world, it's probably daytime and you can't see anything. But us, hoodie request, your humble host, if that is your real name. Not your Hubble host, your humble host. I'm only 2.5 hours from Nashville. Maybe one day in person, Go Max conference. Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. I don't know how that would work, but that would be fun. Heyo, you finally got your yellow hoodie, my man. Yeah, I think you were the one that gave me the $5 towards the yellow hoodie. So you helped defray the cost? Somebody did. Baron, we will miss the mistakes and laughter. No need to change your great character. Well, I got bad news. I don't think the mistakes are going anywhere. Well, maybe that's good news. Unfortunately, I told my wife tonight, perfect show. We're having a perfect show. And I made 2 mistakes before the show even started. Made 2 mistakes before the show even started. My pet peeve is while you're talking, a YouTube ad starts playing in a side window while you're still talking. I have to pause, wait till it's over, click in, then unpause, rewind you. Only your show. I can't help that. I don't know how YouTube does it. I just click the default options. Everybody, I don't know if other people do different options. I just do default, whatever that they do. I was told if you watch the YouTube tutorials, this is the way YouTube wants you to set it up. And if you don't set it up this way, they don't like you and they don't distribute your channel. So I just set it up the way that they told me to set it up. And it, they do tend to distribute the channel pretty well. And I'm not suggesting you need to do this. I watch a lot of podcasts and have for a very long time. I mean, a lot of podcasts. It's not unheard of for me to watch 12 or 15 hours in a day if I'm not like researching for a show or working. Like on a Saturday, I'll watch 15 hours of podcast. It was a no-brainer to buy a YouTube premium membership. Now I know they're like $15 now. They were like $8 at the time. So they're going up. And I'm not suggesting you need to do that. But again, I want YouTube to want to send my show out because that keeps us on the air. Capping down is critical. Keep it coming. Yeah, we've got to get there, guys. This is a high IQ outfit. I keep telling you that. This is a high IQ outfit. I could come on here and tell jokes all day. I could do stand-up. Baron's Jury, a crowd of people. I like that, Grumblers. That wasn't bad. I like that. Yeah, so it is a high IQ outfit, a very high IQ outfit. So we're going to do a little cap and gown. Not every night. Relationship questions. 1, Andrew in love with Erica? Highly possible. I don't know that, but highly possible. He's lying for her. Seems to be trying to protect her. He lost common sense, PR. Yeah, okay. I'm not ruling that out. 2, Tyler, is he adopted? This Candace Owens talk about adoptions and grooming gifted. What do we know about his history? That's a great question. I've never drawn the connection to that. I've always just thought of the Charlie gifted component. I'm interested to see where she's going with this. I know she said tonight, she put out kind of a clarion call. Hey, if you were in one of these programs, can you get in touch with me? Or I'm not sure exactly how she put it, but she wants to know more about these programs. I'm interested to see where she's going with it. Like you guys, I love watching other creators develop an arc and a timeline. It's so much more fun to me than just, here's what happened today. Like I could do that show. I used to do it on the radio a lot. And come in with a stack of news that high, literally 25, 30 stories, sit there and just click through them. And we had a lot of fun and I thought it was effective and we learned a lot and we laughed and we cried. We did all the same stuff. But this 3-hour format gives me so much more time to develop a story arc to bring people along with me. Did you see the email tweet? What email tweet? Don't know what you're talking about. Thank you. Baron, respect your faith in Catholicism. I went through RCIA to become Catholic, but the satanic ties to the Vatican, like the Pope Audience Hall and Pope Francis Interfaith Dialogue, Pachamama, etc. The Pope Audience Hall, I don't think is satanic. I think that is a visualization of Christ's death, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to go back and look at that. The Pope Francis Interfaith Dialogue. Look, the church has survived much worse popes than Pope Francis. It's one of the reasons I have faith in the church itself. The church is bigger than a pope. So, no pope can tear it down. They could do damage at times. There's no doubt about that. But, we're all human, and that doesn't worry me too much. I don't know what Pachamama is. I have to look that up. But thank you for the generous donation, Leisha. With all this capping out stuff, I think we ought to call ourselves the graduates. Ooh, the high IQ graduates. Yes. Not everybody can handle this class. Not everyone can handle it. What's the hoodie plan for the summer? I'm thinking cutoff hoodies like Bill Belichick. Hey, I don't hate the Patriots anymore, but I did at that time. I'm in Chapel Hill, so I'm forced to be a fan of Bill. Go Heels. I wore hoodies in the summer when I did my show before you guys found me. The reality is, with all the equipment in here, with the sound equipment and cameras, and you got to keep it pretty cool when you're going. You can't have it 79 degrees in here. So it's not going to be too much of a temperature change. It might be a little different, but I plan to be in hoodies. I love them, man. Why do you think monks wear hoodies? There's just nothing better. If you're cold, you can pull this up. You look like a special needs child or something, but whatever. It's Easter egg yellow. It's not Easter egg yellow. Thank you. Not Easter egg yellow at all. Poland mentioned in your opening statement. Woo, LFG. Thank you. I guess those are Polish bucks, I'm guessing. 10 Polish bucks. Hoping they have value. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe I'll make a special trip to Poland just to spend them. I can't get it to pull out. There it goes. I've had a 2-week bet on yellow. It's about time. Yes, beautiful bean footage. I didn't even own a yellow hoodie when you started betting on yellow. I had to go buy one. Paragraph number 6, letter to CK to BB. CK speaking out. Motive. Yeah, so I'm going to develop a much tighter timeline. Hopefully Daisy will help because she's good at this. But no, I'm going to put together a very good timeline. And I think we're going to see a fuller picture begin to emerge that's going to have a lot of this stuff in it. And I know Candace has her own timeline. She's got different dates on it. Maybe we can merge our timelines at some point. I still think the next time we see Lance, she will be Laney. Weird. 3 keys to solving the Charlie Kirk case. Who ordered and authorized the pave over and why? Yeah, again, we covered that. We don't know this for a fact, but we believe it was the Division of Facilities and Construction Management in the state of Utah, DFCM, and that they overrode the wishes of UVU on that. That's what we were told, and I'm going with that until I hear otherwise. 2, who ordered and authorized the SUV cleanup auction? Good question. 3, access to the SD card footage behind Charlie Kirk. I don't know at this point if Terrell Farnsworth would release that. I'm not sure why he gave Candace access to any of it, frankly. Sloan, big buddy Sloan, thank you. My daughter kept having a recurring dream where she was speaking at Daddy's funeral for months before my husband passed away in May. Oh my gosh. She said she thinks it was God's way of preparing her. I told her she was wise and most kids her age would have thought they were psychics. Yeah, I don't think she was a psychic. Man, that is so sad. I'm so sorry for your daughter having to first experience those dreams. That has to be traumatic. But I guess maybe you're right. It blunts the actual trauma at the end. I don't know. I'm sorry. Thank you for the generous donation, but I'm sorry you lived through that. It's very sad to me. I can't think about having lost. I never lost a parent, so I can't think of. I was 3 before my stepfather died. So I didn't grow up a teenager with a dead parent. That's got to be tough. It's got to be tough. I watched a Hibbs sermon. I guess Jack Hibbs sermon prior to learning the truth. He stated the fall of the U.S. correlates to biblical prophecy. Thoughts? I think that's lunacy. Again, I'm not saying you guys are lunatics if you believe that. I think it's lunacy. Like, I don't view the Bible that way. That's not the way I read it. I don't read the Bible and see the United States in there. I know people are like, oh, it means Russia is going to move against Poland and Poland's going to strike Germany and the United States. That's not how I read it. But I'm not sure there's an official, maybe there is. I'm not sure there's an official Catholic position on Scripture. Now, I am a big fan of the way the Catholic Church does Scripture. But I don't know that they have an official position on that. Brother, thank you for going deep with that intro and knowing your audience gets it. Oh, I knew you guys would keep up. This is a high IQ outfit. This is a very high IQ outfit. I can tell from your comments. I can tell from your engagement. I can tell the fact that you're still here when I start to go a little deeper and the numbers don't fall off. Came from Candace, but here for what you're offering. Thank you. Thank you. She had a great show today. And I don't just say that because she gave me a shout out. I say that because I thought it was genuinely a good show. Erica Kirk is John Benet Ramsey. Prove me wrong. Have I ever given you my John Benet Ramsey pitch? It's a little wild. Maybe for another show. I don't know that that's true, but they are. I think they would be about the same age, wouldn't they? Give or take. Curious if the famous fiddle waltz, Westphalia waltz, was brought here, Texas, specifically by immigrants of Poland or Germany. I don't know the answer to that. Can I admit something? Because I think it's important to admit when we don't know things. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. The Westphalia waltz. I'm sure it's amazing. Should I look it up? The Westphalia waltz. Oh, it's a song. I would play it, but YouTube doesn't like when we play songs. It's an historic Texas waltz by Cotton Collins, a fiddler with the Lone Star Cowboys, named after the town of Westphalia, Texas. Probably not. Probably not brought there. Probably named after Westphalia, Texas. Holy mackerel, Mark and Shawnee. I think you guys did this once before, if I'm not mistaken. Live from the Wiggle Room, rocking his Buck Up Buttercup hoodie. I like that. The Baron of Broadcast with a wiggle made for radio. Yes. This was a different show on radio. I could do my little chair thing. I could move all around and nobody knew it. Intriguing, intellectually stimulating. Ooh, stimulating, you say. Making us all brighter just by tuning in. Baron Coleman, wild applause, cheers, and sparklers. Oh, is Erica Kirk here? We got sparklers. Has Charlie passed? I saw a video. What was it? You know, they have videos on X sometimes that make fun of people. And I shouldn't laugh, but I was. This woman's cat died. And she was like calling out of work and she couldn't function. She couldn't get out of bed. She was like calling for help, basically like twittering for help. My cat died. It's been 3 days. I can't move. And I'm thinking, not Erica Kirk. She was walking out to a fireworks show. I got to say something about my cough. Now, I do have a cough button. I just don't always hit it. Thank you for that, Mark and Shawnee. Very generous. Someone emailed very concerned, and I appreciate your concern about my cough. Oh, you got a terrible cough. Oh, I hate your cough. You need to go to the doctor and see if you have asthma. Lady, I've had asthma for 46 years. I've taken every drug under the sun. I take daily asthma medication. I took liquid albuterol back in the day when I was too little to take an inhaler, and then I started taking an inhaler, and then I had emergency dissolvable albuterols, and then I took the first generation inhaled steroid. It was called Asthmacort. I took Intol. I took everything. Like I've done every generation of steroid that came out. I've done it. I now do the combination inhalers with a long-acting beta agonist with the steroid. I've taken it all. So that's why I sound like this. And I don't know I don't know if it's going to shorten my life or not, taking all that asthma medication. I do have a theory of why it came to pass, but I will share that with you at another time. Blake has the video of Terrell messing with the microphone. I saw it in his live the other night. I know you said you couldn't find it. Thought of you. Yeah, I saw it. I saw that. I watched his live. I had to watch it on like triple speed because it was long. But I did see it, and I stopped and I paused and I went back and watched. I also saw, was it Blake's show where you could see Charlie? I got to put you down here. Charlie had his Rode mic on. I should keep one out. He had his Rode mic on and he kept lifting it up. And the way he lifted it up made it look like, it didn't look like a normal person messing with one of those Rode mics. if I'm being honest. Saw that as well. If they're not contesting the cause, then they should produce a slug of fragments and a trajectory in court, right? I would think they need to produce something. You know, someone needs to make a Barron bloopers video. I thought this morning while I was listening to last night's video and cackling at my cubicle. Ma'am, were you supposed to be working? Were you supposed to be working, ma'am? I worked in a cubicle one time. I worked for the State Department of Revenue, Property Tax Division. A fresh college grad before I went to law school. Actually, in that cubicle, I decided I was going to law school. I couldn't stand the thought of working in that cubicle the rest of my life. And the job was terrible. I had, they would deliver a stack of papers every Monday like that tall. And my job, now I was very thankful to have it. Don't get me wrong. As a newlywed and all that. Thankful to have the job. I think I was making $26,000 or something at the time. Annualized. But the job was like on Monday over the weekend, we would get this giant stack of paperwork from the county departments of revenue, and I would have to plug in the numbers into the main system there. Well, a brilliant man like me thought there's got to be a better way. This sucks. So I go to my boss and I say, hey, boss, they've got this newfangled technology. It's called the internet. This would have been in 2002. So, I mean, the internet was a thing, right? It might have been dial-up, but it existed. Why don't, instead of them putting it on a hard drive where they are, printing it off, mailing it to us over the weekend, why don't we just have them put it in a way that feeds into the main system? That way it'll just be there. No kidding. The boss looked at me and said, well, then what would you do? Find something else for me to do. He said, just keep punching it in. I thought, that's it. I can't work here. I cannot do this. I was not cut out for this business. Not what I was cut out to do. Baron, one, thank you for sharing the gospel of Jesus. You're quite welcome, young lady. Two, you watching videos while we watch the side of your head is one of many reasons we love you. Love from a high IQ Baron Ian. Jesus Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Well, thank you for those kind words. But my wife at some point said, at some point, they're not going to think it's cute anymore. You've got to stop. That's why she's the VP of this operation. Real Baron Podcast now has a VP. I've named her. She can't get out of that. But Baron, I was hoping for the raw ground beef colored hoodie. It's bean paste, sir. But the yellow hoodie is for the people. Yes, I give the people what they want. They wanted a yellow hoodie. I guess they thought the bean paste wasn't washing me out enough, so they wanted me in a yellow hoodie just so they could see how terrible I really look. High IQs and hoodies for the chat. You're making Rush proud. I would love to make Rush proud. He was fantastic. Yeah, redheads don't look good in yellow, guys. I'll be honest with you. And yes, it's reddish up here. I mean, it's got a little cast to it. It looked redder when the beard matched, but that's gone by the wayside. I'm huge in the Balkans. Trust me, huge in the Balkans is coming on the merch. Whenever the merch comes, there will be a huge in the Balkans set. Absolutely no doubt about it. Blessed Karl von Habsburg is spinning in his grave of your pronunciation of Westphalia. No, it's Phalia. Westphalian democracy. That's how I pronounce it. Look, I didn't grow up in the South to learn how to pronounce everything right. That's not why we live here. That is not at all why we live here. I know this interview is legit because all the influencers who cheerled the Fed narrative are suddenly interested again. Yeah. Love your show. Been wondering about what you said about people who see beyond the veil being demonic. Can a highly intuitive person with a loving heart who loves Jesus be clairvoyant? Ooh. I don't know the answer to that. Not off the top of my head. I do want to bring on an expert. My wife saw him. What's today? Thursday? She saw him this morning. He is the diocesan exorcist. I'll show you his feed here. He is the diocesan exorcist. His name is Dan Rehill. He is a brilliant man. And here is his X feed. He's a brilliant, brilliant man. And my wife sees him twice a week. Not sees him that way, you sickos. And this is the guy I want to have on. I don't know if he'll do it, but because he has a very busy schedule. He hosts a podcast. He hosts a radio show. But this is him. That's him right there on the left. That's an old picture. When was that? Oh, March. Not that old. See? Based. But yeah, he's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant man. And he knows all about the demonic. He has been present when demons were cast out many, 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 many times. And he can wow people with his stories. I would love to have him on. You guys would learn so much from him, and we could ask him that question. I know that Jesus and the angels can give you messages. I'm aware of that. I know the dead can impart messages. I'm aware of that. My question is, if you're seeking it, if you're looking for it, when does that become a problem? That's where I get a little iffy. So I will defer to the experts. I think women speaking to News Nation is Joe. Very low IQ. We found Joe. Joe, I've got your book. It's right here. It's ready to be read whenever you need it. You just come on and get it. I guess you didn't learn a lesson. No, not at all. First time live, your opening statement equals edge of the seat every time. Excellent. Number one in my YouTube subs over Candace Owens and Husby's tractor subs. I hope I beat the tractor guys. I don't hold Auburn against you, hotty toddy, proud member of this high IQ outfit. God bless. A lot of the Ole Miss people are bitter still about Tommy Tuberville. Guys, that was 25 years ago. More, 27, 28 years ago. Dial it back. This is like a fake interview the government wanted aired because we don't believe in pet swap. That was my thought. You guys nailed it. You guys absolutely nailed it. Yellow hoodie, banana boat. Not a banana boat. It's befuddled by daffodil yellow. I'm convinced. Interviews complete FedSlop. Who's the D-level guy doing the interview? You think Lance recruited Tyler Robinson? Tyler Robinson was in the elected program. Now Turkey Tom vid makes sense. Yes, I do. I am pretty convinced after the interview tonight that is 100% correct. If a guy who is destroying evidence of a murder gets a federal detail, if she's right, if a guy destroying evidence gets a federal detail, and you want to tell me that's normal? No, that's not normal. If your hoodie is to butter us up, it's working. Max is better than men. It is. Look, I'm a populist at heart. Look at all these populists. I've got 4 populist presidents. The only 4 populist presidents we've ever had grace my wall. That ought to tell you all you need to know. That ought to tell you all you need to know. Twiggs is part of IDF 8200 alleged. Unit is comprised primarily of 18 to 21-year-olds as a result of the youth of the soldiers in the unit, the shortness of their service period. Now, that's a bold claim. Do you have evidence for that or just because he's young? And that's a bold claim. Big claims need big evidence. Some reported on a neighbor seeing the couple kissing, but I don't see where they disclose those witness. Articles just call him a random boy. Yeah, that's because he probably doesn't exist. News Nation's propaganda. I told you. I tried to warn you. Same old BS fake media got away with for years. Now they're still betting on the strategy. This upsets me so much. Me too. Love you, Baron. Please go easy on the Brian Enton. He's an amazing journalist and cares. He has a separate YouTube channel. Always flying and on the go covering stories. Check him out. Love your OnlyFans preview the other day. Honored I got to see it. Well, I want to clarify. It was only the shoulders. It was a mistake. It was not an OnlyFans preview. It was an audio check that was not supposed to go out over the air. That did. I'm I'm not saying he's not an amazing journalist. I'm saying that was a Fed slop interview. And he looked like he was wearing pajamas. I didn't have a problem with his questions. I had a problem with the whole construct. We'd love for you to do an interview live with James Lee 5149. I like James Lee 5149. I watched quite a few of his videos. I do like him. I agree with you. National Enquirer for News Nation. They've rolled her out to get people back on track, convincing us Tyler Robinson's their killer. Yeah, I think that's the plan. I wouldn't be surprised to see her rolled out more. Whoever it is. I just sent you the YouTube link for this interview. Good. It's from an independent journalist named Brian Enton. He has a whole YouTube channel. Okay, so you're telling me News Nation just picked it out? That's why it's not on the News Nation website, but they put their logo on it. I'll check it out. I'll look at the link. Thank you, Tina. Huge fan. 20 minutes late. That hoodie is definitely snow yellow. Like, don't eat the yellow snow? Don't eat the yellow snow? Hold on. Her voice sounded familiar. Anyone that can compare voices from Twiggs clip and the lady interviewed on Candace episode 241 at the 3-minute mark? We got time. Let's look at it. That's a callback, sir. If you're right, that is a real callback. Candace Owens, 241. Is that it?
Ask the question, why?
Yeah. Apparently I watched it because it's picking up in the middle. 241 at the 3-minute mark. Let's hear. Let's see how good your recall is. We can do a little on-screen comparison right now.
Early morning GMA interview, Good Morning America interview that she did.
Mia Grant,
I'm getting
we're
a
all
little
in the
bit of
audience yesterday afternoon. Thank you for joining us this morning. I know it's been a difficult day for all of you right now. And Tiffany, let me begin with you. Just tell us what you remember about the scene yesterday.
It was horrific. There was one shot that rang out, and everybody instantly looked around and then fell to the ground. People saw Charlie instantly get shot in the neck.
I don't think it's the same voice to me, but I will have to go back and do a comparison. I'm going to leave this pulled up. I'm going to go back and do a comparison when the show's over. But it didn't strike me as the same. But you talk about Fed slop. The fact that woman was already, again, planting the shot narrative so quickly. You notice how they just rushed to get anyone who would say he was shot in the neck on camera immediately to just really drill that in over and over and over and over and over, such that pleadings now in the case just take it for a fact, an undisputed fact that there was a gunshot. On a lighter note, your profile of the hoodies with turn your head and cough. Huh? I don't get it. I mean, I've had to turn my head and cough. Not the greatest experience in the world. Absolutely nothing about this whole thing makes any sense. It's what we've been saying. Family member of Lance Twiggs interviews on YouTube won't let me post the link. Yeah, thank you. Someone emailed it to me. I will check it out. Thank you. I would appreciate your insight or theory on why Trump is so different this time around. It's been so disappointing. We were also hopeful, but he hasn't kept a single campaign promise. Let me see if I can do something real fast. I had a whole episode on this long before you guys met me. Let's see if I can find it. I'll have to pull it out of the studio because I have it marked private. Where did it go? I had a whole thing about this. It was about I'll have to find it. The whole thing was about why they're not fighting him. Why they're not fighting Trump. Because after he won, we were all like, well, why are they not going after him? Where did it go? This was wild. I can't show you this. You guys wouldn't respect me in the morning. No. You wouldn't respect me. I'll find a clip that you might like. I just saw what I looked like when I pulled it up. I'm like, no, I can't play that. Here's my theory. I don't know whether it was the Butler, Pennsylvania event or whether this was Trump's plan all along. Win one term, see if he, do some moderate things, whatever he had to do to keep his fans on board to win the second term, and then just go full mainstream globalist corporatist, which is basically what's happened. I mean, he's done a few things. There's been a few wins here and there, but basically, no, there hasn't. And I don't know, man. I don't know if it's the Epstein files. I don't know if it's the gunshot in Butler. I don't know if it's, I think Trump took a real turn after Las Vegas, of all things. I mean, that was pretty early in his first term, and he was a different person after that. Then you notice his daughter just completely disappeared at that point. Ivanka was like his right-hand man up until Las Vegas. And after Las Vegas, she kind of wasn't around much anymore. You don't believe, everybody thinks she was there the whole first term. Go back and look. She wasn't. News Nation banner says, roommate's family, they have the right guy. Yeah. It's obvious Fed slop, people. Obvious Fed slop. I think this was a way out for Charlie Kirk. Someone had other plans. Surprise ending for Charlie Kirk, at least. I don't think it was a surprise. I don't think Charlie was looking at this as a way out. Maybe. I don't think that. If Charlie had plans on that day that involved manufacturing some kind of an event, I don't think it would have been to leave. I think it would have been to elevate his position. But that's we don't know the answer to that. That's all speculation. Get the blank out of here with you, how they talk in real life. Shaking my head, honey. I don't know what all that means. Can I find that creepy short Erica Kirk posted of her daughter chanting Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk. I remember it. Not normal. Thank you for filling the rush void. Wall phone equals psych ward. Yes, it absolutely. That gives real psycho vibes. The wall phone. You don't want to be somewhere where they have a wall phone. That's not what you want to do in life. You want to get away from the wall phone. Yes. The Beatles were MK Ultra project, and the Epstein family gave them their start. Doing video on it next week. Well, that's one good thing the MK Ultra did. That's one good thing the MK Ultra did. I have a Beatles album in my little album collection under the desk. I have like 5 Beatles albums in here. I don't know where they are. I'd have to get in there and dig through them. You guys don't want to see me crawl under the desk. That's not good radio. Baron, you're doing such a good job. I'm not a religious person, but I really badmouth common sense and logic. And you have both in spades. I truly enjoy watching your program. I think I kind of understand what you're saying, Avery. And thank you for the kind words. Very polite. Let's go geek in that pink. You can pull it off. A man's man. Does Adidas make a pink hoodie? Because, I don't look good in pink. I don't look good in pink. First time contributing shadow characters a lot like when they first shot bin Laden and used a shadow character to tell the events. Shot bin Laden. Ladies and gentlemen. Why do you think so many people took credit for shooting bin Laden? Wouldn't they know who shot him? Like there were like weren't there 2 or 3 different people that were claiming they were the ones who shot bin Laden? Then they just happened to bury him at sea when no one could see what was going on? Come on. Don't tell me you buy that. Don't tell me you buy they shot him. Entire case is so sad. All points to the sin-filled nature of mankind. Pray for all people involved with taking out our brother. They need Christ immensely. We're sending much love to you, Baron. Go back. Yeah, anyone who could take a human life needs God. No doubt about it. Dan Flood and Rick Cutler touched their arms at the same time. One left, other right. There's video that shows them both at the same time. I think the Dan Flood touch was just a second before the Rick Cutler touch. I'm starting to come around on the fact that Rick Cutler might have been yanking on something under his shirt. I'm not coming around to the palm gun. Don't get me wrong. But I'm coming around to he did something because that's such not a natural move, and his shirt sleeve didn't move. But so what did he do? Like if I pull up on my sleeve and my sleeve doesn't move, what am I pulling on? Potentially something under my sleeve. Blake Bednar helped me get there when he talked about all the wiring under Brian Harpole. Oh, speaking of, have you ever gone back and looked at Brian Harpole and all the other events? I have. I started that process. Might put a slideshow together for you here soon. You know what you don't see? All the crap under his shirt. He just looks like a normal guy wearing a shirt. You don't see the big iPad. You don't see all the stuff under. You just see a normal guy wearing a shirt. I've started the process. That's going to take a while because you got to really dig through old footage and find good angles. Edge, here we are asking, digging, shouting, supporting, searching. How do we bring home the W, counselor? How do we get justice for Charlie Kirk? Like the lemon chill. Yeah, it's like a lemon chill. I'll take that. You know, it reminds me of a frosted lemonade from Chick-fil-A, which are amazing, by the way. Not product endorsement. I would take that product endorsement, but it's not one. How do we bring home the W? We cannot leave this story alone. That's the problem. You know, the next step of this investigation, they ignore, call crazy, call dumb, call evil, threaten. The next step is to say, oh, they're just milking it for dollars. They're just trying to keep dragging it out. They're afraid to talk about anything else. They don't want to admit to the. They want you off this story. They want you off this story. You know why? Because they don't want us to keep figuring things out. They don't want us to keep figuring things out. God has a way of showing his hand. Thus, enter the new crew, asking, probing, causing panic. They didn't expect this. It's God's way. Hey, I had something happen to me today. I was reading through the emails, and someone apparently had sent me several. I don't respond to a lot. If I've responded to your emails, that's fine. I've read them. But I don't respond to every email. I respond to maybe like 1 out of 20, maybe 1 out of 50. I'll send something back. If you've given me something to really think about or I have a follow-up question, I'll sometimes respond. But I cannot respond to thousands of emails every couple of days. It cannot. That's all I'll be doing. I won't do shows. I'll just sit here and respond to emails all day. Some jerk emails me today and he's like, you obviously don't read your emails. I'm done with your program. So I wrote him back. I finally wrote him back. I was like, bye. See ya. Whatever. After scanning AM with FM faded, Barron is an oasis. I've been on AM and FM radio. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, who controls the money and resources controls the people. It's one big club, and we ain't in it. Time to change the rules. That's correct. We ain't in the club. That should have been clear yesterday when we were talking about Tuminez. Elo the B. Guys, I need to decide to focus on my prayers. EK, Nick Fuentes, Andrew Colvett. Not sure I'll have the strength to do 3 of them. Let's split the load. GoFundMe for a collective exorcism. I'm still praying for Andrew Colvett. I believe he can be saved. I have begun praying after having contact with Tyler Boyer, fervently for Tyler Boyer as well. Obviously, you could pray for anybody. You can pray for lots of people. You can create a list and you can run through a list of people to pray for. But those 2, for whatever reason, have really been on my heart. And I do believe God puts things on your heart to pray for specific people at specific times. And so I've been doing that. Been praying for Andrew for a while. And God works on his own time. Maybe it'll be 50 years before Andrew, those seeds we're planting come around. And same thing with Tyler. I don't know. But I do believe that the prayers are not wasted. Not even on people that I think have potentially covered up or at least maybe even participated in some pretty ugly acts. The daffodils have me befuddled, my love. You were right about the lemon snow-colored pullover. Just kidding. Love the show. Go Max. God bless you and your family. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed, Eric. Christ is king indeed. Bush Hibbs. Oh, because he was in the bush? I like it. I'll take it. I had to put that one together. We're dealing with deeply rooted and sinister system that at best will only allow rhetorical questions to an investigation that has been compromised since day one. Lance and Tyler are weaponized victims. You think they're victims? I don't think they're victims. I mean, maybe, but I think they both probably have some measure of culpability, and that's unfortunate. Word of the day, it's my understanding, says a lot. Tyler, I don't even know this lady. Yeah, I don't know that lady is much fan. Like, like in Utah, everybody seems to be related. I had this conversation with a friend of mine, or someone I've met here lately, who lives in Utah, or from Utah. And I said, is everybody in Utah related? He said, yeah, mostly. A lot of them. The guy doing that, Brian Enton, yeah, we talked about that. Interview was on News Nation. It was only 5.02 minutes long. That's awfully specific. Tried to send link, wouldn't work. Yeah, somebody apparently has emailed it. I don't want to, unless I know what it is, I don't want to play the whole thing. Oh, wrong email address. Hold on. You pull it up, I guess. I don't want to pull up the whole interview. Oh my gosh. And asthma fixing tips. Oh, link to watch. Here we go. I'll watch it. Maybe we'll come back to it. Cash Money. Bonus, the TPUSA documentary in Israel stars none other than Daily Wire employee Isabel Brown. Is that a fact? The TPUSA, the documentary? Unbelievable. I am going to watch that. It's on my calendar for 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to go. I'm going to, I wake up. I don't drink coffee for an hour and a half to 2 hours after I wake up. And I don't suggest you do it either. It's hard on your brain. You need to let all those sleep chemicals wash out of your body before you go and hit the caffeine, because otherwise it interferes with your ability to be focused and attentive all day. Makes you anxious, makes you crash. If you wait a couple hours, you don't have that experience. So I usually wake up long before then. By 8 o'clock, I've been up a few hours. I'll wander in there, get a little coffee, come sit down, and that's when I plan to watch it. With my first cup of coffee around 8 o'clock in the morning. So that's where I'll be. I don't know where you'll be, but that's where I'll be. How long is that documentary? Maybe we could watch it as the members group. Just watch the whole thing together. They may not like that. How do you not know who Brian Enton? I just never seen him, brother. I don't know. All I had to say was cut him down for his shirt like a mean girl. Aw. I love you when you cut down the only people trying to be real know better. All I knew was that he was on News Nation. I don't respect News Nation all that much. So I'm sorry, Brian. And look, Mr. Enton, I'm sorry. If you want to interview people in your pajama shirt, I will not hold it against you. Never again will I have a problem with it. Is that fair, Bramey? I'm not going to mess with him. Not going to mess with him. It's my understanding she has no clue who Lance is. I hate when my intelligence is insulted. How stupid do they think we are? Thank you for covering this. By the way, I loved your magician episode. The opening was an awakening. Who did I talk to the other day and they said they come back to that magician episode time and time again? I can't remember. I was on the phone with him. Or maybe I was on a video call with him. Who was that? I can't remember. But they said they come back to that. They said, hey, that was a really good visual for me to understand the misdirection in this case. Who was that? It was a good. I wish I could credit the person. Don't be so hard on yourself, Baron. The low level production. Hey, your show sucks, and we're glad. Makes it believable and adds to the allure. Well, there's nothing like a badly produced show, sir. Thank you for screwing it up every day. I'm just kidding. Stay humble, remain faithful. I see a bright future for this outfit, this high IQ outfit, sir. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. I kid. Yeah, look, I'm doing my best. The one-man shop right now. I'm doing my best. Screens all over the place, notes everywhere. I'm trying over here. No need to read on air. Just paying free speech tax. Thanks for saving investigative journalism. Diane Mooneyham, I'm going to read it. You got your little member sticker. I'm reading it. Even my boomer mom, who's half English, obsessed with Jane Austen and believes no conspiracies, doesn't buy the text messages. Your mom sounds amazing. My boomer mom, who's half English, obsessed with Jane Austen. Oh my gosh. I'm sure she's great. I'm sure she's fantastic. Jane Austen's fine. This goes to Baron. Thank you, 7 Sheets. But it's really a cheers to the chat and those who are fed up with Fed slop and are seeking authenticity. God bless and please keep it up. We're doing our best over here, 7 Sheets to the wind. You know where I don't know, the 3 sheets to the wind. You know where that saying comes from? The boats, they would have their mast and their sails. When the sails would cut off and you had 3 sheets to the wind, you were in a bad way. You were not going to make it. You weren't getting where you were going. So the wind died down and you could retie them and then sail off. That's my understanding. Now, 7 sheets, you might as well just take a nap. You look so healthy and great since giving up the drink. Yay. Clean sober since October 22. You have the best personality. 100%. Your family is so blessed to know and have you. Go Max. Thank you. I guess you must have watched some old videos of me where I don't look great. Oh, gosh. Let me show you some of these. No, I'm not going to show them. Hold on. Let's see here. Maybe I can find an old. Oh, goodness gracious. That's loud. Let me see if I can find an old one here. How old will I have to go? I can go back to like 2013, 2015, somewhere in there. You can see little baby Baron. Hold on. Let me pull one of these up. Oh, yeah. Old Baron. Old. I have no idea what this show's about here, but we'll show you a little clip of old school Baron. Get a little profile view in here. You're gonna love this. Now the guy on the right, he was my old business partner, Jack. He passed away a few years ago. There's an old school Baron right there. You see that? There was a lot of alcohol coursing through those veins back in the day. I don't know if I can find one where I'm actually talking. Here we go.
And not for medical purposes. And a lot of these drug companies believe in the drug company purpose, which is we are here to improve life and make life better, not kill people. And so they don't sell them. Georgia's actually challenging, or someone over in Georgia is challenging Georgia's statute that hides the names of these drug manufacturers, and they're going to determine they.
You see how fat my face is? I'm telling you, boys and girls, stay away from that alcohol. It's bad on you. It's hard on you. It's not good for you. I'm telling you, it's really bad. That was from April of 2013 or 14. What was that? 12 years ago. I'd have been in my early 30s. I was a kid. So yes, give up the drink. It's bad for you. The hoodies ain't going away. We don't die. We multiply. I'm not doing the clap. I had to pay him $3.13 last time I did the clap. Not happening. Not happening. You're not going to trap me like that. You must be a fundraiser for Coach. Check out Mario Nawal show today on YouTube with PBD, timestamp 28:34 mark. I listened to it 4 times to make sure I was hearing him correctly. Sound like PBD said, Israel took out Charlie. What? PBD 28:34 Mario Nawal. All right. I wrote it down. I'll watch it. That's crazy. If he said it, you'll see it here. Baron. No, not Baron. First of all, you're awesome. I just inserted Baron because that's so awesome. I'm grateful you're going full time. Hope you become a millionaire. Wow. I've never been a millionaire. Secondly, Baron's second chair for our group name. Ooh, second chair. But then you sound like you're not great. But no, I mean, second chair, second chair of a death penalty trial, for example. So I don't know. We'll have to work on that one. Charlie looks like a man who knows he's not going to be around much longer. He looked scared in that. You talking about the Megyn Kelly interview? I agree with you. Fellow Catholic, I feel Charlie was turning to Catholicism towards the end because he was seeking truth in his life after realizing he was surrounded by lies and deceit. I agree with you. I think he was seeking Catholicism. I genuinely believe that. And I don't think it was being received well. Period. Charlie thought they were going to kill him. Why would he want Erica to take over the company if something happened to him? Why would he want her in a position to get the threats he was experiencing? It's a good question. I mean, that's a good question. Spend all the propaganda you want, but one, Charlie Kirk sent text implicating Mossad. Now, I don't know that he sent text implicating Mossad. He sent text saying he was leaving the pro-Israel cause. He apparently told somebody who told Harrison Smith that he thought Israel was going to kill him if he ever turned on him. I don't think he ever implicated Mossad, but if you have evidence of that, I'll review it. 30 ballistic analyses, pattern of harassing Israel's critics, funding efforts to evangelize Israel. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with all that. I mean, I can't confirm all of it, but I don't disagree with the general sentiment you've got there. She sounded just like an actress would. Yeah, there's something about that woman I don't like. Charlie was saying America first, and I say amen. Amen indeed. Amen indeed. I absolutely love the yellow hoodie. You fill my home with warmth and laughter with your high IQ. Thank you, 33x2. 33 times 2, 66. Not 666. No. 66. Got to be careful with that. Charlie was like Braveheart, willing to pass for freedom. Well, that's kind of, I don't know, man. I don't think he wanted to die. Like that indicates he kind of wanted to die. Timeline edition, July 17th on the show, Charlie Kirk made a tribute to John MacArthur. I did show that weeks ago, where he says, I'll finish the race well. Next day, UVU event is set in motion. Yes. Good call. That goes on the timeline. Believe TPUSA created a special site expressing pro-Israel stance with Candace being fired from Daily Wire and her commentary about Gaza and the genocide. I agree with you. My point is they still had her on the website. She was still on the TPUSA website. Now you really have to wonder if the Catholic school shooting shortly before Charlie's death by T was a Fed job also set the stage of hate. I don't have to wonder that. I'm pretty sure about stuff like that. I don't feel like I have to wonder that. Days without incident counter. Baron has gone 0 days without making us watch the side of his head while he watches the screen. Looking forward to get to one. We all secretly hope you never do. I didn't do it tonight. I've got some kind of heat thing going on right here. Is there like a bump or something? Yeah, it looks like there's something there. I feel it. I think I got stung by something. It's a nanobot. Oh, they've invaded me. Micro drones. Doomed. If I die tonight, you guys saw it happen. It happened while I was sitting here. Do you remember during Candace Owens Spaces when Dee Dee pressed HS, Diligent Denizen pressed Hunter, what's his name? Hunter, whatever his name is, to reveal a source, and he declined, and Candace Owens said he's dead. I do remember that. But I also remember, Harrison Smith. Harrison said days later the FBI had asked him about it, and he cooperated, or he talked to him. So I'm assuming he's now revealed that to the FBI. Love, truth, remembrance. Thank you. Maybe add this to the timeline. July 24. Charlie Kirk video on his YouTube called Am I Anti-Semitic? It's a focus group with TPUSA college chapter leaders. I remember this. They talked about Israel, baby, USA. It's a great video. It really is a great video. It really is. Yes, that was the point. I'm curious if there's any kind of testing that we could do on those hats. SCOTUS nullifies Fourth Amendment in 9-0 ruling. ICE or law enforcement can enter your home without a warrant if probable cause, shoot you, and has immunity. Research Project Pogo and Project Zypher. Well, they've always had an exigent circumstances exclusion. So, I mean, I don't know if that's nullifying the Fourth Amendment, unless you think we already had a nullified Fourth Amendment. And they've always been able to enter your house if there's exigent circumstances. Prosecution attorney have 2 piles of evidence. 1, a 30-06 ballistic bullet killed Charlie Kirk. Defense attorney, if 1 item fails to convince the jury, then the pile of evidence 2 is worthless. Case closed. I think that's probably pretty close to accurate, if I understand exactly what you're saying there. What American would have a problem with saying America first? A lot. I mean, a lot. Or as Tater would say, only America only. Does anyone have a problem with saying our home country and allegiance to America comes first? Dang it, I'm rooting for Old Glory. I'm rooting for Old Glory too. I don't have a problem saying it. Like, I understand we have friends around the world and we, would like to help them when we can, but I'm not worried about them. Like, I really only care about what's happening here. Like, the government is us. It's just us. We get together and say, hey, we can't manage all the bureaucratic affairs of the country and plow the fields and make shoes. So why don't we, there's 100 of us here. Why don't 3 of us get together and make the decisions for us? And you'll kind of tell us, and if we don't like what you're doing, we'll put new people in. But that's kind of the concept of government. It was never supposed to be I don't think. It was never, in my opinion, it wasn't supposed to be this perpetual bureaucratic deep state. I don't think that's the way it was supposed to go. I don't trust these lip readers. This comes as someone who wears hearing aids and does a pretty good job of reading lips. I don't trust them. So I don't know. It's likely the grand jury members only will reconvene tomorrow. I think so. Just common sensing it. I think I probably will do that mid-afternoon. I think so. Thank you, by the way. Always kind. Did anyone else see where Erica's half-sister, Tanya Segrist, claims she faked her pregnancies and doesn't have any biological children? No? Who? She has a half-sister named Tanya Segrist? I have to look that up. Connected through the viral story of Erica Kirk, Tanya Segrist being a name sometimes appearing in online discussions or comments, likely as a supportive figure or someone sharing a similar experience of grief. It's not acting like that's a half-sister. While not a public figure herself, her mention highlights the widespread. Hey, I don't think that's her half-sister. Maybe someone else. That would be wild if someone in her family was like, oh, it ain't her kids. That would be nuts. That would be nuts. Looking. Thank you, Miss Cato. Looking. Miss Culver, for those of you who do not know how to like his video, 1, take your remote and pause screen. 2, click the thumbs up on the right of the screen. This will help your humble host so much. You rock, Baron. Great intro. Love you. Thank you. Candace, I did not know how to do that on a TV, so go like the video now. Now's your chance. How many do we have? And again, it's not about farming or whatever. This is how YouTube decides which videos to send out. We're at 9,900. We can do better. Hopefully your tutorial's helping people. Baron, I'm going to email you a tip about the fort in Tucson that I haven't seen anyone talk about yet. I'll put my username in the subject. Love your work. Thank you, Gravity and Grace. I'll check it out. What color hoodie will you let us know to know the feds contacted you? Israel. What color hoodie? Well, I can't give you a color hoodie because then I'd never be able to wear that hoodie again. So it has to be a code word. What code word can we use? I'm not stealing Dave Chappelle's. Let me think about that. It's not like I can give you a famous expression like, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. I mean, people be like, because I might accidentally say that. And all of a sudden they'll go, oh no, he's been compromised. I don't want to go that route. I got to think of something I would never say. My husband is concerned about my Baron Candace obsession. He says an intervention may be needed. Oh, he's wrong. There's nothing to be concerned about, Mr. Janey. Nothing at all. All's good here, sir. You're welcome to tune in and figure that out for yourself. It's only 12 hours a week, unless you join the members page, and then it could be up towards 14 or 15 hours a week. We know what to do with those hats. Test for the boom boom stuff. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. That is correct. Thank you, Faded. Got a new member, Adriana, always a great commenter. Today, Candace referenced something Barron did. You know you made it when people refer to you by your first name. Well, thank you, Adriana. I caught that. I caught her talking about it. I walked out, and the first time something like that happens, the whole house buzzes for a little while. Today, I walked out, and I was like, oh, they must not have heard it yet. I'll go ahead and announce it. And they're like, oh, yeah, we heard that. Well, guys, it's still a big deal. You're more than welcome to raise it when I walk out. Barron's Rough Riders. Jack, people may get the wrong idea. We're not calling it the Rough Riders. People expected a little too much out of this program. I already let some of them see my bare shoulders by mistake. I can't have the Rough Riders. Although, no, I'm just kidding. This is good. Andy Marr appointed the new DFCM director July 17th. A timely promotion indeed. That might make the timeline. That's a good one. Eli never played for Tennessee, but his brother did. Are you a fan of 18 by chance? Huge fan of 18. I actually have an 18 signature on a hat. Met my bub in the military. He was from MTN. Middle Tennessee. So when we got out and moved back to his hometown, I quickly became a Peyton Manning fan. It's still my number one. Yeah, I'm a big fan of 18. I even liked the Broncos when he played there. That's why I like Eli. Big fan. No doubt. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. I'm late today. Happy to see you. Trying to raise my IQ. Can you explain what it means when you say going cap and gown? Thanks, Christ is King. Yeah, it just means we're going to raise it to a higher level of education. We're taking it collegiate. This is collegiate level education. So that's what cap and gown means. It's just a highly educational. I actually stole that expression from, I want to say Michael Savage about 25 years ago. I heard him say that one time, that he was getting a little cap and gown because he was getting kind of deep. Gosh, I've listened to a lot of talk radio in my life. Can't believe that was 25 years ago. But that was about right. That might have been more than 25. That might have been the late 90s. Savage. Yeah, that's where I stole it. That's what it means. That's what it means. Oh my gosh. My boyfriend of 8 years says he hates Candace and thinks 85% of what Nick Fuentes says is true. Should I leave him? Well, no, I don't think that alone is a basis to leave anybody, but no, I'm staying out of their feud for now. I do have opinions on the feud, but I'm staying out of it for now. I'm looking at the comments over here on Grumble. They are spicy. They have strong opinions on what you should do. Foodle to poodle to doodle, whatever your name is. Yeah, Michael Savage rocks. Yeah, great. So yeah, if you want to leave him, go to Grumble. They'll tell you all about it. I don't think fractional division of politics, like if you're both on the right side of the aisle, I think you should be able to make it work. Now, if he's a raging leftist and you're a raging rightist, I just don't think it's going to work. I'm not saying, like, if you're both kind of on the left, then you should be able to make it work. If you're both on the right, you should be able to make it work. You don't have to agree on everything. I mean, like if he's a Ben Shapiro fan, now Now we got problems on our hands. Now we've got real problems on my hand. Names were my idea. Oh, okay. Duly noted, young lady. I broke my foot, so I'm late. Hate being loud. You didn't break your foot on the way here. Slow down, people. Arrive, but arrive safely. You can always watch the replay. There's no reason to get carried away. I hope your foot heals. I had a little break on my left leg at one point, and it's when you got a flat tire, it's hard to get around town. I can't do a pensioner piece. It's only, unless I start setting separate rate. I don't think I can do all that. We did one rate. You don't have to. I gave you 12 hours for free. That's pensioner friendly. Have you read The Present Darkness? No, I've not. Never even heard of it. Is it good? Sam 910, I was looking at flight radar and saw that flight listed and can't see another info. I've never heard of a Sam 910. I saw a Sam 666 the other day, though. Scared me to death. I thought, who? I can't find it unless you tell me where it came from. Let's see if it came out of Camp Springs, Joint Base Andrews. I don't see it. 910. I've never even heard of a Sam 910. I thought they stopped at 7. Sam 788. There's a Sam 841. Sam 930. No, that's a Spar 930. Sorry. No Sam 910 there today. Huh. Never even heard of one going that high. That must be a high-ranking bro. Or gal. Found John Lennon's body. Wasn't he shot on the street in front of his New York City apartment? Yeah, but somebody had to happen upon it. Like somebody was there first. I talked to the guy. It wasn't like out in the middle of the road. I think it was kind of in his curtilage a little bit. Yeah, I don't buy that op at all. As soon as I started looking into this guy's history I was talking to, I was like, ooh, no. I don't buy the Mark David Chapman bit at all. I got off that train real fast. I'll go through that one day. I can't do it I can't do it right now. It's too long of a story. The sidebars. Ooh, I like that. Real Bays. I don't think Trump has been the same since Charlie's death. His policy started shifting after. I find it possible he could have taken it as a warning. They have JD set to replace him. I think ICE is here for us in World Order. I think he was different before that. And see, that's where I think he's been different the entire time. But he's definitely been a lot different since. You absolutely crack me up. You're the naturally funniest podcaster I've ever heard. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, but that's why the cap and gown, sometimes people are like, well, this is what I tuned in for. I tuned in to laugh. We get both. You get both. Can you or Candace please interview Charlie's parents and or sister? I mean, I could try. I could reach out. I don't even know how to do that. I doubt they're taking interview requests, but I would love to. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely love to. So I posted on X yesterday with a theory about why they're getting rid of our phone booths and landlines, because the movie shows us they're the only way out of the Matrix. Interesting. That goes to the wall phone. That's why I'm telling. Well, maybe we all need wall phones. Maybe we need them. Pachamama is the mother goddess of the Andean Incan people, considered a creative deity. Vatican said statues were symbol of life and motherhood. Well, I'll look into that. I mean, they've got Cleopatra's needle out front. It's not like they don't have cultural items on the property. You have to add July 17th to our timeline. Charlie hit Iran on his show, talked about how planning on a whiteboard doesn't always play out how it's drawn. July 17th. Google blips start popping up. Keep rocking. That's a good one to add. I'm going to put that. That's a good one. I don't hate it. Man, I'm getting behind again. Here we go. Charlie Kirk was killed. I felt thinning between the spirit world and our own. I experienced something that was not seeing, but similar. There was a knowing of evil laughter coming from the demonic. I don't want to say it, but I feel the same. Like Heather, I genuinely feel that something changed that day. And I don't know what it is. But I've seen more people who were impacted by that I never anticipated. Like people I know didn't follow Charlie Kirk. Didn't even really know who he was. Deeply disturbed by it. I think part of it is we saw it, obviously. It was very graphic. Almost everyone's seen it. My wife still hasn't seen it. I have a friend who still hasn't seen it. But it's very graphic. But I think there's a spiritual component to it. I think you're exactly right. And I don't know if it's like a Christian awakening or an awakening of good. And so, like one of the worst things you can do is start trying to live your life better, because then they're like, oh gosh, we're losing her. And then they go after you. If you're gonna dip your toe in the water, you need to dive in. Because once you start giving them the idea that you're going to improve your life, all of a sudden you become a target. You want to hear the John Benet Ramsey theory? Yeah, part of me doesn't believe she ever lived, like she ever existed. I think the whole thing could have been an op. I don't know that. I'm not committed to that. I'm not wedded to it. I'm not married to it. But I do know that a lot of the pageants she's supposedly in were not pageants. They didn't exist. They're fake. They're made up. A lot of the names that supposedly were connected to a lot of these pageants didn't exist. They're made up. They're not real. A lot of the photos that we saw of her that we've come to now believe are the photos we've always seen. Now, this could be like Candace talking about the Berenstain Bears. I mean, maybe the timeline I don't know. I'm not a big timeline shifting guy, but something happened, because if you go back and look at the pictures they released originally and you look at the pictures, they're not the same. They're not the same pictures. They have more detail. They're just different. And so why are they touching up the pictures as time goes by? That's not how you do news. And I just get this notion that there's some fake component to it, and I don't know what it is. And so when I sense this fakeness, I'm tempted to just throw the whole story out. And if you found out what John Benet Ramsey's dad did for a living, it would make a lot more sense. He worked for a company that was in the very cutting edge of creating images out of whole cloth. We take for granted now that any AI program, you say, create me a 6 foot tall blonde girl, give her biceps, give her red hair, maybe a face tattoo. I mean, just give crazy, description, and it will create a very lifelike version of that. Well, that hasn't always been the case. Back in the 50s, for example, that wasn't a thing. You didn't do that. But by the time the 80s and 90s rolled around, there were some high-tech companies really working on the cutting edge of this technology. And her dad worked for one of those companies, was pretty high up in one of those companies. And so I could see a scenario where they're like, well, let's roll it out, see what happens. You want to see it work in real life? Check this out. But then part of me is like, well, that's ridiculous, because the neighbors would have known her. But have you ever heard the neighbors talk about her? Have you ever heard her schoolmates talk about her? About how they had little John Benet in class? So again, I don't know, but I did wander down this rabbit trail, and it was a hole, and then I fell, and I started sliding down the hill, and I ended up all the way at the bottom of it one day, actually over the course of about 2 weeks, where it became like a total obsession, and I was putting all this together, and it was blowing my mind. I was thinking, are you kidding me? Like, does this girl exist at all? Is she real? Especially when you get into the pageant aspect, because this was such a fundamental part of her identity. And then you look, and none of these pageants were real. Well, what? Like, she was the beauty queen. That was how we watched her on video. Well, the videos changed over time. We saw the pictures of her all dressed up. Well, the pictures changed over time. And so I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't know. And then you have like things like missing out of the police file, death certificates not lining up, and it's just so much, man. I know this. I'm not saying 100% she didn't exist, but there is a percentage of me that wonders. But I do know the whole story doesn't add up. Like something weird happened. Something wild happened that you can't know about. Whether that's she never existed or who was involved or something happened that you cannot know about. I do know that. It's a wild story, man. If you trip and fall down that hole, you'll lose 2 weeks. Loving your show in Australia, living my best sober life. 12 years this week. Wow. Congratulations. What's that? What is that thing you got going on there? Looks like an arrowhead or something. Well, thank you, Donna. Very kind of you. What is that? Is it a pine tree? I don't know what that is. Hoodie is Easter egg yellow. I said what I said. Not Easter egg yellow. Not Easter egg yellow. See if any of you people have called PDF file records. PDF file records. I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what that means, but I don't know the relevance to the comment. Oh my gosh, I'm getting behind. Baron, I sent you an email pertaining to some of the similar experiences I had in common with the lady on Candace. I do realize you're very busy. I believe the military, the church, and sexual abuse involved is relevant. Michelle, I just saw that today. I just opened it today for the first time. I've not had a chance to. And I saw it was a paragraph. I read through it. I set it aside, and I am going to get back to that. So thank you for following up. I'm not ignoring it. But I did just get into that. Yeah, I don't know what's on Erica Kirk's left hand. It looks like some kind of white tattoo or branding, but it's a thing. And I don't know what it is, and I would love an explanation. Good call. Good call. Denise, thank you. Lady, a few words, but thank you. Very, very kind. Email tagged you on X about Candace saying energy and lightning bolt related to electro theory. Only tent he died in had lightning bolt, not others. I think some of the tents last year had lightning bolts, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me, Mr. Coleman. Yes, Miss Murphy. We mods are going to go on strike if you change our names to something other than the Bear Knights. We've always been the Bear Knights. Baronets are men. Bear Knights are us ladies and gentlemen. Ooh. I'm not going to do that. Hey, Whitney, keep it clean in there. I've heard a lot of foul languages getting thrown around. I don't catch it all, but we've got youngsters watching. Hoodie idea. Don't know what you're talking about. Love the show. You're awesome. Yeah. I mean, some of these comments, I don't know what they're talking about. I genuinely want to, though. Baron, member since day one. You the man, Shane, man. You might remember I told you I celebrated 500 days in recovery. I do. I saw the members only live and what you said about your sister. I'm also a recovery support specialist. JC is the only way. Go Max. Well, I think you're saying Jesus is the only way. Yes, go Max. I agree with you. Congratulations on 500 plus now days in recovery. And yeah, my sister works in recovery. Beatles would call that hoodie color yellow matter custard dripping from the dead dog's eye. They might. It could be yellow submarine. I mean, it could be far simpler than what you just identified. Member name, Hi QAnon. Oh, wow. Hey, I got to tell you. Well, can I tell you this story? It might breach privilege, so I'm not going to tell you. Gosh, I want to, though. It's got a Q connection. But I think it'll breach privilege, and I don't think I can tell it. Had a demonic nightmare a few months ago, followed by a moment of sleep paralysis upon waking. It probably only lasted a minute. I was utterly terrified. No sleep the rest of the night. I have had it one time. Luckily, it was in the morning. It's terrifying. And I don't know if that's like a sign of the demonic or not. But yeah, it's hard on you, man. It is. It messed me up. I didn't want to fall back asleep for days. Why would the FBI protecting Lance if it's not an FBI case? Now that's a great question, Diane Thompson. That's a great question. That got past me. Not this high IQ outfit, though. Didn't get past all of you. No. Proving, once again, we have the highest IQ outfit in the land. Love how everyone sends you a hoodie in yellow, then proceeds to say it's lemon yellow, custard yellow, soft yellow. Shades of yellow, sir. Shades of yellow. I tell you what, it made my mouth water when I said frosted lemonade from Chick-fil-A. What's up, Buttercup? Like the hoodie. Bank and Shop in New Braunfels. Home of the oldest bakery in Texas. Oh, my gosh. Is that a thing? Man, Texas is a weird place. It's like a foreign land. Maybe I should park my investigative eyes and ears there. The Lord is blessing you, Baron. Prayers. At the oldest bakery? You think that's the place where the intel's gathered? At the oldest bakery in Texas? I can't, like, is any other state have an oldest bakery in the, like, is there an oldest bakery in Mississippi? I posted up this morning. I was at the oldest bakery in Idaho. Only Texas, man. Only Texas. About fell out of my chair Monday when you mentioned Franklin Road. I coordinate the DUI court in Williamson County. Stay sober, at least when you're driving or not. Job security, joking. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for what you do, Danny Elise over on Grumble. Yeah, I got pulled. I can tell this story now. I mean, my parents are probably watching, but I got pulled over on Franklin Road, Dania, in 1994 on a motorcycle right in front of Brentwood Market in Delhi doing 94 and a 50. Did not go well. Was not amused. The police officer was not amused when he walked up to me. 94 and a 50. I won't do that again, and I don't recommend it to any children. It's why my wife won't let me have a motorcycle until my last kid's out of the house. Yeah, I got history on that road, Dania. History. You want to sniff that hat, don't you? I don't kink shame. I want a bomb dog to sniff the hat, sir. I'm getting offers in my email of bomb dogs. I'm thinking, what can I have them sniff? I want a bomb dog to sniff the hat. That's what I want to do. From an admittedly part-time conspiracy theorist, a lot of my Trump support for me at least, stemmed from the Q4chan. The optimist side of me hoped at least part of it was true, but Trump V2 is leaving very much to be desired. So Q was an op. It was an intelligence op to keep the most hardcore Trump supporters sidelined. I know people don't believe that. They still don't want to believe that. People want to hold on to that reality, and I'm sorry. I cannot shake that. Cannot shake that. Thank you. Thank you. That about Cutler 3 months ago. Now take another look at that smile. I know, Baze. I thought of you when I started changing my mind on Cutler. I thought of you in particular. You were probably the most verbal anti-Cutlerite I came across. Somewhere along the way, I saw a pic of a post with Lance and Tyler. I don't know if it was legit. Pretty sure it had heart on the pic. I can't remember what the caption said. Maybe in my 1 million screenshots. I will look. Well, that's going to take you a long time if you got 1 million. I also recommend dialing the screenshotting back a little bit. That's a lot. But that would be a good one. If you have it, I know you know my email because we've emailed before. So email back to me. Okay. I can never do this again. I will have to be perfect from here on out. Never able to join live, so I had to say I smile every time you play a video we can't see. So relatable, and I swear that's why people love you, myself included. Been watching daily for 3 weeks. Thank you, A.T. Brown. But I'm trying to keep it clean. From now on, we're watching the videos together. My best friend from college is friends with Kathy's, who are the owner of Chick-fil-A. Huge evangelist. I will mention the potential endorsement. I would love a Chick-fil-A endorsement if for no other reason. Well, it is the Lord's chicken. If for no other reason than I love their, I can't even think of the name of it. Frosted lemonades. Absolutely phenomenal. But I do like the Kathy family. Good people. Truett Kathy, I think was the guy's name who started it. Westphalia, Texas. Westphalia, whatever I'm supposed to be saying. You guys are such prudes about how to pronounce stuff. Got its name from German immigrants who settled there in 1879, naming their new town after the Westphalia region in Germany. Their homeland as a tribute to their heritage. YouTube, Westphalia, Waltz Fiddle. Well, thank you for clearing that up. Now we can all sleep soundly tonight. Now we're going to be fine, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. Now we know where the town was named. I'm telling you, you Texans are something. Nothing gets past you guys. Those of us who love the bean paste hoodie call us the pasties. I cannot call you guys the pasties. People will get the wrong impression of what this members group is about. They're going to hear about seeing my shoulders, pasties. They're not going to understand. They're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. Coach mentioned yesterday or today that he still wants to connect. I do. I texted him. He didn't text me back. Oh, I did. He told me he was asleep. I have to go back and look. I'll reach back out. I do want to connect. I absolutely want to have him on the program. Infectious laugh, logic, sense of humor, merch suggestion. Barron ain't Barron. No, he ain't Barron. And you worked the 8 in there as well. Nice. No, he ain't Barron at all. That's the problem. That's a problem. You need a set of VR glasses so we can see the Barron feed, kind of like the Charlie Kirk security team. You guys want to see my feed from over here? I'm trying to see if there's anything you're not allowed to see over here. Oh, I found this picture the other day. Speaking of, I put this on my desk. This is great. This is me, a little bitty feller. Not sure how old I was there. Look at that green shag carpet. Look at that chair. I mean, this is like 1981, 82 maybe. That's my sister there. You guys will get to know her soon. Yeah, having a good time back in the day. I found that. So that sits on my desk. I can't give you the VR glasses. Again, I don't know. I don't think there's anything you guys can't see, but yeah, it could be like client material or something laying around and somebody will freeze frame it and see it. Can't do that. I also keep this motivational quote popped up against my screen. I've never lost a game. I just ran out of time. Good friend of mine gave me that. Look nice in your yellow hoodie. Color reminds me of the medicine my mom gave me when I had a stomach virus. It's called Donegal with paregoric. It was opium based. All right. Now I'm diarrhea medicine. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all that beautiful bean footage for convincing me to buy a yellow hoodie. I had no idea it was going to be so controversial. We all know what they did to Charlie before he passed. Now imagine they knew it was going to happen and got off on making his life hell. We cannot forget. Everybody needs pressure them and ask questions. I tend to agree. Someone didn't hear it on the PBD. Well, I'll check it out. Maybe the shoes worn by those standing in the front rows can help too. I saw one girl was posting vids. She was front left. Maybe not a bad idea. I gotta get in touch with these. Well, I didn't quite nullify it. That's a little extreme. I mean, I understand what you're saying. The Terry stop, but I need to get in touch with one of these bomb dog people and say, what are they capable of doing? You know, what are we able to do with a bomb dog? Because if we can really, if we can really smell shoes, then yeah, we need to get some people on there. Have you seen the pictures from Sydney of BB in a security detail? One person looks like Brian Harpo. Makes you wonder if he wasn't sent to get close to Charlie. I can email a photo. Trust me, I've seen it. I don't know. I think you're thinking of Dan Flood, and I am unable to determine whether that's him. Did you see the email with the video of Blake and the necklace? It's not on TT. No, I don't think so. Itty bitty girl, I hadn't seen you in a while. Where you been, Bronx girl? Grok, yes, Tanya Segrist. More commonly spelled Tanya Segrist or Segrist is Erica Kirk's half-sister. I'll have to confirm that independent of AI. AI lies a lot. Candace Barron and Coach. That would be a big lineup, wouldn't it? I like old Coach, and I like Candace a lot. So West Texas is the best Texas. He's doing a deep dive on the players in Kirk's death and all the stuff they're picking up around the tent. Yeah, I like Blake. Blake does a good job. 4 days sober. Thanks for the push. Hey, let me look before I go to the rest of your comment. Right here, Kristen. Days 4 through 7 are hard. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to BS you and beat around the bush. People who've done this will tell you the same thing. Days 1 through 3 are weird. Days 4 through 7 can be tough. break the day into as small as you need to. 15 minutes if you have to. I'm going to, it's 9:55 now. I don't know what I'm doing after 10:15, but I know I'm not drinking between now and 10:15. At 10:15, you can make your mind up for 10:30. However short you have to do it. And then one day you'll get to where you wake up in that morning and say, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, but I know what I'm doing today. I'm not drinking. Stick with us. Your life will so immeasurably improve. Stick with us. Stick with us. Now, back to the rest of your comment. A few ideas. Butch Hibbs flannel for your Fed shirt. Ooh. Beautiful Bean Brigade for members. I had somebody offer to buy me that Butch Hibbs shirt. They said they knew where one was. I don't know if we could get enough of them. It's a Wrangler shirt. I'm pretty confident in that. Yeah, I like it. The Beautiful Bean Brigade. No, again, people take that the wrong way. Did you research the 1998 movie Snake Eyes? A lot of strange. Yeah, that's kind of what I said that yesterday in reference to Candace's kind of strange show she did about time travel and all that. I thought maybe what if the time dilation or whatever it is, what if that allowed them to, let us know. Just a cheap shot today. You must have graduated from the Scott Adams School of Low Budget Podcast. Keep it real. Thank you, Jesus. What did I do? What did I do? Oh, you're saying I have a bad podcast? When I'm watching over here, I cannot disagree with you. But I try. Get the pink hoodie. Save it for when the feds contact you. Then you don't actually have to wear it unless needed. Yeah, but I'd want to wear it. Like if I get a new color, I'm going to debut it. I usually put it on the next day. Like this one rolled in like 3 hours ago. Who was I talking? I was on the phone with somebody. Who was I talking to? Somebody show related, I think. Oh, I was talking to Trigger Smart. And Trigger Smart, great guy. And we were chatting all things podcasting. And I was like, hang on, I got to pack it. And I went and I started opening stuff. And I'm telling him when I'm opening, I'm like, oh, my hoodie came. I was so excited. I was like, that's what I'm wearing tonight. So I don't know if you're watching, Trigger, but this is the hoodie that came in. Ain't it beautiful? He may not want people to know I was talking to him. I may have just outed him as talking to me on the side. Let's see. I grew up with my dad listening to Rush and Savage. Now here I am listening to you. It brings me back to those days with my dad. Guys, I'm serious. When you guys make comparisons like that, like my mind is blown. These guys were just gods to me. I mean, absolute Mount Olympus. Go to Statecraft. Kirk's half-sister leaks Erica's faked her pregnancy. Charlie was tricked. What is Statecraft? Statecraft, Erica Kirk, half-sister pregnancy. I see it. YouTube. Can I pull it? Is it going to pull up with some weird noise or something? Yeah. 135,000 views? Holy mackerel. On 16,000 subscribers? I'll have to check it out. I don't see a lot of the sister. I see a whole bunch of Erica B-roll. I'll look at it. 135,000 people can't be wrong. That's not true. People watch Ben Shapiro too. And the women call us men ruthless. Wow. One differing political opinion and they're all out the door. What woman's out the door? What did I say? Or what did you say? I don't remember what it was, but I apologize, ladies. Thank you. They call me Mellow Yellow. Keep being a light, Baron. You're welcome, Jay Card. I'll do my best. Anon Twiggs interviewee, Jackie Nielsen, mother of Braylon. Is that who that is? I have to take a picture of that. Sorry, my phone was charging. Is that who that is? How do you know that? I'll listen and see if I can figure that out. I mean, that'll give you something to go on. Taser black marks on John Bonet, same spots Charlie Kirk. They were not able to determine on John Bonet. Now, this is part of the. Hold on, y'all gonna make me do a John Bonet episode, and I don't know that I want to. They were not able to determine what brand of taser, though they was on her back, actually. They were not able to determine what brand of taser it was, and they kind of threw out the idea that it might not be a taser because they couldn't find a brand that had that specific depth or distance between the two taser things, prongs. But if you were faking it, you might not know you needed to do that, right? See what I'm saying? Like, it goes deep, y'all. I'm sorry, it just does. It goes so deep, so deep. Hey, Baron, maybe try to remind everybody to subscribe and like the show before you jump into the super chat. Just a thought. Thank you for doing what you do. Hotty toddy. Y'all subscribe and like. Now, people who paved the crime scene and TN Factor, you called, see if they have a criminal record. They work for the state. Quite rightly, they call it Mellow Yellow. I'm not singing again. One song per show. See my emails where I saw Butch Hibbs at HEB. I saw that. I don't think it was him. And I'll be honest, it felt a little voyeuristic, Miss Cato. It felt a little voyeuristic. Man's just trying to get a coffee, and you're taking pictures of him. It looked like him, though. I'll be honest. It did look like him. But, I mean, I'm assuming HEB's, and that's Texas, right? Why would he be in Texas? Unless he's in New Braunfels. I'd have to go back and look at it again. Have you ever looked at the Timothy Gordon book, Catholic Republic? Real trad Cath guy, 7 kids, has a law degree, theologian degree from the Greg at Vatican City. Have you discovered Father Ripperberger? Yes, I have. I saw a funny tweet today, and it said he doesn't trust anybody who's a cradle trad Catholic because if you've never had to try to awkwardly avoid eye contact during the rite of peace, the sign of peace, then he doesn't think you've paid your dues. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was great. Don't forget where Chick-fil-A started, greatest state of them all, Georgia. Go Dogs. Never counted that Eleanor would watch Baron and Candace and Ian and all the others. The worst nightmare is we unite to dismantle the FedSlop Philadelphia manipulation program. Thank you, Anna Christina. Holy mackerel, you guys. There's a lot of them. I try to keep it to 3 hours, and I'm getting harder and harder to do. Still vote for the logician. Where is the Fort Huachuca Erica Kirk picks? Guys, in due time. Stop. I will do the production. You guys watch. Let the stories develop. Let them simmer. Let them take their course. What are our legal avenues if we out the plot and or the killers? Can we sue someone for wrongful death? Does it need to be brought by the state? We can't. I don't think we have a lawsuit. But I mean, whatever. We're just got to prove it in the public opinion and then put pressure on them to do the right thing. Trying to say what I saw, but Brian Harpole lookalike. Another Brian? I thought you were talking about Butch Hibbs. Oh, another Butch Hibbs lookalike. Oh, I'm sorry. BH to me was Brian Harpole. By New Braunfels. Police posted while he got his prescription, then left. Now, that is a different story than I understood. I may email you back on that. That's interesting. Because there's just been a lot of weird activity in New Braunfels. IQ sidebar. While ago, you weighed talking about mental illness, decided no, said it's just not real. Please elaborate. People confuse evil with illness. I don't want to say mental illness is not real. If I said that, I was overreaching. Sometimes I'm a little dramatic. I don't know if you've noticed. But I think a lot of people blame. I think a lot of people open themselves up to evil and demonic influence and then blame mental illness when that's not the problem. Like, again, I'm not saying there's no such thing as mental illness. And if I said that, I overspoke. But I do think that the demonic is far more real and far more common than we give it credit for. And a lot of people just need to be better people, like live a better life, give themselves to Jesus, stop doing the sinful things they're doing. If you believe in demons and you believe they can cause you to behave and act certain ways, and those ways look very similar to what we call mental illness, then yeah, we would probably call it mental illness. I do not believe the psychological industry. Like, I don't believe most of it. I think most of it's BS. Not all of it. Like, I think social psychology studies can accurately depict how certain people might react in certain circumstances. I'm not saying all of it's BS, but I'm saying, if you exclude the possibility that what somebody needs is a thorough confession and cleansing from sin and a dedication of their life to Jesus, and you then say, oh, he's just got anxiety or depression or schizophrenia or whatever, I don't know. And if you just foreclose the spiritual process, any possibility of a spiritual angle to it, and you're only treating the symptoms, then I think you're missing out on helping a lot of people. And if you talk to some of these exorcist people or the people on the teams of the exorcists, and you see the condition that people are in when they meet them, and you see the condition they're in when they're finally able to get salvation, you would understand what I'm saying. Like, it's night and day. Night and day. People going from doing all these crazy things that the world would look at and go, oh my gosh, I got a mental illness. Well, no, they were demonically possessed. And then they weren't, and then they're back to normal, like totally back to normal. So that's what I meant. I apologize, Julie, if I was poor with my language. I do apologize. Yeah, if I wear an off-brand camo hoodie, that's not a bad indication. I'd have to buy one. I don't own one. Off-brand, let's stick with that. Off-brand camo hoodie. Y'all gonna know. So just write it down, take a picture, off-brand camo hoodie. Now, if Adidas comes out with a camo hoodie, all bets are off, especially if it's like a cool blue digital camo, like a navy digital camo, I'm going to wear it. If it's like a white and gray, like a Red Dawn type hoodie, going to have it on. But if it's mossy oak, you'll know. Good call, Protocol Widow. Good call. Good call. The day you don't wear a hoodie was no, because I might show up without a hoodie. I think I haven't worn a hoodie on my members' lives. Maybe one of them I did, but it was an off-brand hoodie. But I've not been compromised. It's one of my favorite hoodies. My daughter got it for me for Christmas a few years ago. Is your view that we're all photons of light and that I am is God and Bible is actually a map of the human mind? What is theology on the Bible? No, that is not my position, Jesse. I don't want to be confused with that. That is definitely not my position. My theology on the Bible's Catholic. Catholic. John Ramsey was CEO of Lockheed Martin. I don't think that's true. Naval officer dated Natalie Holloway's mom, lives in Moab, Utah. I don't think he was a CEO of Lockheed, was he? I don't think that's correct, but maybe. I don't know. I'll check it out. Baron, haven't updated my pick yet. Like you, I worked in Bank T during COVID. Thick glass window. My customer had plastic gloves and mask. Complained to my boss. My mask was under my nose. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. COVID didn't hit me too hard because I lived in a great neighborhood and we had amazing neighbors and we hung out every day together. And we would watch our kids running through the neighborhood and we would sit out in the backyard with lawn chairs and watch the sky get darker and darker. And then when it got dark, we'd all wander back to our houses. Nobody, I had to go into work every day, but a lot of people weren't even going into work. So they didn't have to worry about like laying in bed hung over all day because they were fine. They didn't have to go anywhere anyway. I had to drive to work every morning. Where I worked did not close. And I mean, I was in a radio station, so it didn't close. But yeah, no, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Then you had to go to Costco and you had to deal with old ladies with manager haircuts yelling at you for walking the wrong way. I mean, it was a crazy time. Crazy, crazy time. Guys, I've enjoyed it. This is a good question. I agree with the second part. He did act weird. I don't know if creepy is the right word. Weird. Was he involved? I don't know. I don't know if they collected the reward. Yeah, you guys are asking me a lot of good questions. I don't know the answer to. But anyway, I'll probably be back tomorrow with a members show in the afternoon. I don't know if I'll do an evening show for the broader audience or not. I probably want a couple of days off. The member shows are easier to do. I don't have to do the long prep for the opening. I just fire up the mic and start rambling. It's fun, but there's no opening. There's no 30-minute opening that I spent 5 hours writing like this one today. So I may do that because those are fun and lighthearted and not news heavy, really. Answer a lot of questions, just kind of get to know you guys, get to know me. And then I'll probably be back Sunday night. I mean, I will be back Sunday night, 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. I'm not sure which, but I will be back. And I know it's the NFL playoffs. If you guys want to go watch sports ball, you're not going to hurt my feelings. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Catch the replay. I'm not, I won't hold it against you. I will not be back Monday because of sports ball. I'm going to watch the Hoosiers win the national championship. It's something I never imagined happening in my entire life. I'm going to watch it. So I'll be here Sunday, not Monday, but then Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll be back. In the meantime, I want everybody. You guys know what's coming, don't you? You know what's coming. Jesus loves you.